shit, where's my drink? Welcome to We Need Wrestling, everybody.
Oh, I didn't know if you were recording or not. I was
Certainly am.
Hello, welcome to We Need Wrestling with
We Need Beverages.
Me, Brett. I Brett. You're DJ.
I am.
Hi. I have a special guest with me.
Hello, I made
Kat.
the mistake of revealing my shoot name to Todd this week.
Should I include that in my weekly purchase as well?
Did you send him money too?
I did. I sure did.
So you're welcome, everyone, for Todd watching Raw. Todd will never hear this. So
Monday Night Rocker.
Monday Night Roker.
Yeah.
Raw
with Roker.
Raw is Todd.
Raw Todd.
Raw Todd.
Oh, Todd.
Yeah.
Dude, he was getting fucking likes from wrestling Twitter and stuff on his tweets and
that's
stuff.
going to ruin his Twitter.
I'm going, oh, man.
Yeah, his Twitter's done. That's why Michelle left Twitter.
Yeah. Well, Todd's taking over.
And then I had to pay him. Since I PayPal'd him and it has my shoot name on the PayPal. Then he was like...
Did you have to pay him extra to keep your shoot name? Jesus.
I did. He fucking extorted me.
Man. Todd's got a fucking racket going.
So, listen, if you know my shoot name, you know it. Yep. If you don't, you don't. And that's just the way it's going to stay.
And that's the way it is.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Todd, hold on, let me get another.
Yeah.
There you go. Brett has a cat companion on the podcast.
I do, and I love her so much.
Tiny little Wednesday.
And she's holding my hand, she's being adorable, and she's real cute. That's right, Wednesday, you're real cute.
She is.
And I love you so much.
It's just because she loves the gummy boar shirt that you're
wearing.
wearing.
Damn, who wouldn't? If I was at a show, I would purchase a gummy boar shirt.
There you go.
Which you should.
Yes.
Which is where I bought mine.
But yeah,
buy it online too.
Could you?
I'm sure if you hit up the boar or Erica Lee,
hit them up.
Hook you up.
It's a great shirt. I got one too. It's in the closet.
It's a wonderful shirt.
So welcome to Me Wrestling.
Hey.
How are you, pal?
Pretty good right now. Not gonna lie.
Good.
I got a cat here.
Good. Yes.
I love this animal.
Mm-hmm.
She's adorable.
She's a good cat.
But other than that, I'm good, man. It's almost the freaking weekend, baby. I'm about to have me some fun.
Okay.
Work sucks, but it is what it is when people are on vacation. And
yes.
what are you gonna do?
Yeah, well,
it's got to make up for their shit,
right? And then you go on vacation and stick it to them.
Yeah, but when I take my vacation, it's like almost the end of it's like early fall almost. Yeah. So people are gonna be like, "Oh, we're here," and that's gonna then I'm gonna get real mad.
Right.
Next year, I'm gonna start taking vacation in July.
That's right.
Fuckers.
That's right.
Jerks. How are you?
I'm good, buddy.
Yeah,
I'm good. Everything's good.
Good. That's what I like to hear.
It's warm out.
It's been fucking warm out.
I don't do well in the heat.
No. My air conditioner in my bedroom has been like nonstop.
Yeah, we the mountain's a little cooler here. We try to keep it we like the fresh air coming through the house, the nice mountain air. But eventually I just tap out and I'm like, I can't do this shit.
It was 98 degrees downtown the other
Nick
day.
Lachey all over the place.
Nick Lachey or Drew Lachey? Which one?
I don't know who Drew Lachey is.
I mean, they're brothers.
I only know Nick Lachey because he was married to Jessica Simpson.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and now he's married to Vanessa Lachey. Is that her name? She used to be an MTV VJ.
That's more than I would know.
There
I'm not sure. The only MTV VJs I remember are
Downtown Julie Brown.
Yep. Jesse Camp, Matt Pinfield.
Jesse Camp, hanging out with Jerry Only.
Oh God. Who's another? Who's the one who sounds like she ate cigarettes for a living?
Anita Blackwell.
That's it. Yes. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, it's Nina Blackwell.
Yeah.
That's my Nina Blackwell, I guess. Yeah. But no, man, shit's good.
All right.
Shit's wild.
Good. Shit is wild.
Shit in wrestling's wild.
Right. So we got a lot to cover. Don't wanna make this a 9-hour podcast. So I'm good, you're good. Let's get into the world of professional wrestling news.
Let's do it. So Fridays seem to be news days when it comes to a certain topic.
Right.
Friday morning, Triple H officially was announced as being the Executive Vice President of Talent Relations.
Yes.
Which is the job that Johnny Ace had.
Yes.
So I'm guessing he's probably gone.
I'm pretty sure they said he was fired.
Did they?
Yeah.
I didn't see
that. He was sent home, and then I'm pretty sure this week he got fired officially.
So that obviously, sparked a lot of...
I'm going to assume also eventually divorced, since he's married to a Bella mom.
Yeah, who knows with that. So that was like, oh shit, here we go. Yes. And sure enough, as Tim and Marcus, if you haven't listened to Final Wrestle Place from last week, go check it out. They broke it down very well.
Well, because they're scooping and booping.
Always, man. They just scoop and boop left and right.
Right.
About 4:30 in the afternoon, Vince McMahon officially retires,
yes.
Which is, code word for resigning amid sexual allegations.
He was asked to retire. He was given an option. It was retire or get visibly removed.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and then Trips gets a second job, right? That's because he's also head of creative.
So it got announced on Monday. Yeah, Monday officially as well. Okay. He's the head of creative.
All right.
The sole head of creative.
Crazy.
Which a lot of people thought was just going to be Brucey.
Brucey's under Trips now on the ladder.
It's no longer Sweet Brucey.
Listen, Brucey, I know Joe loves his Sweet Brucey. Bruce is a yes man at his best and an idiot at his worst. But I don't see him being long for this world of professional wrestling.
No,
and WWE.
I think he's got a lot of podcasting to catch up on.
Yes, right.
So,
and sleep.
He just had the torn rotator cuff surgery.
Right.
Bruce, I think it's time.
I don't think anything's gonna happen to Brucey. I think Brucey keeps his nose relatively clean in 2022.
I don't know if Steph likes Brucey,
but I mean, legally, I don't think Brucey has been involved in all that other stuff. Bruce is just a yes man, but I think they're gonna clean house of Vince sort of yes men and apologists. Yeah, and Bruce would be at the top of that list.
I guess.
Maybe second to another guy. But anyway, we'll talk about that in a second. So Vince is done.
Vince is done.
Announces his retirement at 77, even though he's only 76, but that's fine. Whatever. Lots of people asking questions about this week. I went to the comic shop yesterday, got a lot of questions about it. Sort of what of course, Vince isn't running things. Of course, he's going to be shooting Steph and Trips texts and all. Probably writing drafts of shows and sending it over. And who knows if they listen? Who knows if they don't? There's a lot of expectations out there, for what a post Vince WWE is going to look like.
A lot of uncertainty with what a post Vince WWE is going to look like.
For sure.
I think I might have said to you, the company, I think it's going to get worse before it gets better.
I think I think there's going to be a grace period, if you will, and then it's going to take a while for them to get their footing and try and figure out what they want this company to be and what direction they want it to go in.
And either I want to say it's going to soar or it's going to sink.
Right.
It's one or the other. I don't think they're just going to maintain the current day-to-day there.
Yeah.
I do think the shoe's going to drop and Kevin Dunn's going to be next.
Dunn's definitely next.
Which I feel like...
I think tomorrow. I think we'll get the report tomorrow about whatever he was involved in.
I think he's going to finish out SummerSlam on Saturday.
I think so, but I think the report will drop tomorrow that he's involved in something.
Yeah.
And then they're going to take the weekend and they're going to announce that he's done.
He needs to go.
He's Vince's number one sycophant. Like, he is the yes man of all yes men. And honestly, one of the biggest detriments to that company in the modern
the reports coming
time.
out this week saying, he didn't want to push Becky Lynch because she's not pretty enough.
That was about Becky Lynch?
That was one of the reports. And another report was
Freddie Prinze Jr.
coming flat out and saying, we would sit there and pitch this long angle, and he'd be like, no, but she's not pretty.
Becky Lynch isn't pretty enough?
Yeah.
He's fucking Bucky Beaver.
Well, that's what everybody says. They go, really?
Yeah.
He's judging somebody?
Right. If Kevin Dunn, oh my God, wait. Kevin Dunn walks or gets released or fired or forced to retire, whatever, that only ups the potential for the celebrity in quotes, boxing match between him and Cornette, right?
I thought you were going to say Cornette coming back to the company.
No, I don't. No, listen, Steph does not need that fucking headache.
No.
But the celebrity boxing match, Kevin Dunn versus Jim Cornette, it can happen in Jim Cornette's alleged sex dungeon.
Oh God. So Vince has to repay. I think the report was $14.6 million.
Yeah.
Because the investigation found that he paid out those funds for these NDAs using the company's money.
And he'll be fine, everybody, because the stocks went up $5 a share after his release, and he made $120 million off of that. So he'll be fine.
They said he sold off like 0.1% of his stock or something like that. Like,
he'll be fine.
He's
Vince.
He's fine.
If he does, he's facing potential serious jail time. What he did is not. It's not smart. It's a big boo boo.
And somebody said rich people only get away with crimes when it's against poor people, not against other rich people.
Right.
Rich people don't like other rich people fucking with their money.
Right. So that'll be interesting. Yeah. Who knows? Vince has a very good history of shit not sticking to him.
Of course.
That's what it is. But we'll see. I don't want to wish jail on anybody, but what Vince did is real serious. But also, here's the other thing about Vince, and this was sort of what I was talking about at the comic shop too. Vince might not live very long, and I'm not trying to wish death on anybody. Yeah. But when you get, retirement kills men, especially.
Absolutely.
It's just what it is. Yeah. Especially when you're sort of in this industry that you're in, you're attached to your whole life. You've done one thing; it's in your blood. Along with other things that are in Vince's blood that he not necessarily doesn't have to do anymore.
Oh boy.
Here's again. I use this example at the comic shop. I'm going to use it here because I think it's a real good one. Lemmy from Motorhead. It's my favorite band of all time. That's one of my favorite dudes. I love Lemmy. I love that band. Lemmy, Motorhead is a thinly veiled reference to a guy who does a ton of speed.
Yes.
Lemmy loved speed and booze. Right?
Sure did.
Lemmy loved so much speed that at his funeral, his guitar player got him instead of a bouquet of flowers, got a 6-foot-long mirror with a line of white flowers down the middle of it to lay on his casket. Lemmy loved drugs. Yeah. Right? Lemmy lived to be 77, 76 years old.
Longer than he had in his 70s. Living.
Right. But what happened? Somebody convinced Lemmy to go to a doctor. He went to a doctor, and the doctor said, stop doing drugs and stop drinking. And Lemmy said, I'll stop drinking brown alcohol.
Yeah, that was it. I'll drink clear alcohol.
Right, so he'll drink clear alcohol. But he stopped doing speed, and what happened? He died. Because eventually, it becomes a part of your DNA, and your body needs it. Your body gets so adjusted to it, your body needs it. Yeah. You talk to Keith Richards. Keith Richards says, I'll do whatever I want, whenever I want. I've never stopped anything because I don't need to. And if he stops, his body's going to be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Right. So that's what happens to these guys, right? They stop doing something that they've done forever and ever, and the body's like, wait, what the fuck is happening?
It's a shock.
And shit shuts down. Right. And like that's a very real fear for Vince because wrestling is his blood.
Yep.
It's just what it is. There's another very prominent thing happening this weekend that is also about a guy who doesn't know how to leave the business behind and is potentially also trying to avoid a retirement. In the most severe way possible. Mm-hmm. It's just what happens with these guys. If we've seen Vince, we know he's not in great shape anymore. No. He looks like he's melting.
No, and then that report, another one came out this week, like about him in meetings, and they'd have to filter a lot of the stuff he said, and he wouldn't remember people's names.
Lots of talks of
he's an old man
of dementia or Alzheimer's. He's an old guy.
He's fucking 76 years old.
I don't want to, I can speculate, make jokes, and say allegedly or whatever. We all know that Vince did steroids.
Yeah.
We know Hulk Hogan did steroids. We know Mark McGuire did steroids. Sure. Like I'm not talking out of school here.
No.
Frank Thomas isn't just pushing testosterone on the TV commercials. Whatever.
Shout out to the Big Hurt.
That's right.
I loved Frank Thomas baseball for sake of chance.
So, like that ravages your heart and other organs, all that sort of stuff. Like it's going to be interesting to see where this goes and what happens to Vince. In his health and legally and so on and so forth. I imagine if he can throw anybody under the bus at all, he's absolutely going to.
Yeah, you would. I don't know. I don't know. Truthfully, I don't know.
It's interesting to be in a world that right now, a wrestling world that is. It's post Vince. Like that's the only way you can describe from now forward. It's post Vince McMahon.
Yeah, it's
because he's been an announcer since 71 or 73.
I mean,
bought the company in 84.
He's the most.
No, 82.
Say what you want about the dude, but he's the most influential guy in wrestling ever.
Absolutely, and that's a good point too. A lot of people coming out. A lot of people getting heat for saying, I love you, thank you for everything. Kevin Nash said it. Everybody's coming out
Mick
saying,
Foley,
right. And listen, those guys, I don't think their intention is to defend what the man did in any way.
No.
But without Vince, you don't have these opportunities.
No, you don't know these people.
You can make the argument better or worse about unifying and going national and going to TV and whether or not regular TV ruined. We can make all those arguments forever and ever and ever, right? The fact of the matter is that Vince is probably the most important person in the history of professional wrestling.
Yeah.
It's just what it is.
It is what it is.
It's just, the only other person that could even come probably close is Ricky Dozan bringing wrestling to Japan.
Yeah.
Otherwise, and Gotch and Billy Robinson, those guys, but other than there's nobody. Vince is untouchable when it comes to influence in wrestling and importance to the business as we know it now. He took it national. Did that ruin wrestling in some people's eyes? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Did it make wrestling better in some people's eyes? Absolutely.
Sure. I'll hear arguments on both sides,
But now it's interesting too. Like you were saying, is it going to be good? Is it going to be bad right away? It's interesting because there's a large community online of Vince McMahon apologists and bootlickers, for lack of a better term, right? Sure. People love Vince can do no wrong. Vince is this. AEW stinks because Vince's WWE is better. Blah blah blah. It'd be interesting to see what happens when, without Vince there, if something stinks. If people turn on the other McMahons, or if they're okay with it, giving them that grace period, or if there's this wouldn't have happened if Vince was still there, or this stinks. If Vince was here, it would have been better.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Right? It is a world of professional wrestling and we talk about on the show about how I say a lot of things if you're in that key demographic, 18 to 34, a lot of those fans, the majority of those fans don't necessarily know. They know they can go back and see it on the internet, but they don't know a live wrestling time without Vince, or with Vince even having competition. We say that all the time. AEW is 3 years old. There's 2001 through 3 years ago. Vince was essentially the only game in town. I know Impact exists, but just bear with me here.
Let's be honest,
right? But to spin that of professional wrestling existing in the United States and the world without Vince McMahon at the helm has been before I was born.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? I don't know wrestling in my lifetime without Vince being involved in some way.
No, it'll be the first time now.
If you go back even further, if there's people who were fans from then, he was an announcer in the 70s.
Yeah.
So and through the 90s, So he's a part of wrestling. Just not modern wrestling as we know it doesn't exist without Vince McMahon as a part of it, and in a lot of ways wouldn't exist without Vince McMahon.
Yeah,
and the dude sucks, and I don't like his product. I haven't watched his product in a long time. I've always kind of known that he was a piece of shit. One, because he's a billionaire, and two, because he's a piece of shit. But he's a part of all of our lives. So I don't want to say, well, thank you, Vince, and whatever, but I get why people are doing it.
Sure.
Kevin Nash was suffering through horrible gimmick after horrible gimmick, and Vince brought him in and made him a fucking star.
Yeah.
Right? Mick Foley thanked him because JR brought him to Vince, and Vince was like, I don't think so. And JR's like, please just try it.
I mean, I watched a documentary with Taker.
Yeah,
Vince didn't even want to take a meeting with him. But obviously it changed a lot of things.
And Vince, it's sort of, the wrestling industry is also very much the, what have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
Right?
Of course.
And lately, Vince hasn't been great.
No.
Right? The characters aren't good.
It's been bad for
the TV
a while.
shows aren't good. It's constant stories of him blowing up and changing scripts. And they've run the same fucking match over and over again. And whatever, right? But Vince used to be really good at the creative side.
Yeah, and that's when the team of him and the old stories about booking meetings around the pool, that's when it was fun,
right?
Right. But man, it's been rough for a while.
It has been, and it can go in 1.5 million different directions now.
Yeah,
which is interesting. Triple H can bring all his guys back. It certainly has looked like for the last few years that Nick Khan was looking to slim the company down for a sale.
You mean co-CEO?
Co-CEO, right. And Steph is chairperson and co-CEO.
Yeah.
Big thing for her.
Yeah.
So, it's uncharted waters right now. And it's going to be really interesting because, and like AEW is not taking over the market. Like that's listen,
no, it's just
AEW is doing really good. They've plateaued with really good ratings, hitting that 900,000 to a million, being number one in cable every week. Like they're in a really good spot. They still need to grow, but that's going to take time. They're only 3 years in.
Yeah.
But like it can go in any number of places, and it's going to be really interesting.
Yeah. It's going to be, I'll watch when I can.
I'll keep an eye.
Like SummerSlam's this weekend. Like obviously if there's anything cool, I'll check it out, you know?
The other thing too, like Trips is head of creative, like we loved NXT. That's why this podcast exists, right? Yep. Is because of what NXT was doing and then AEW coming in.
Sure.
You know, and like people like that, you know, we said that the women's division on NXT under Triple H is the best division in all of wrestling.
It was the best.
You know, and he had a lot of other really good things in NXT. But Triple H also did a lot of real shitty things.
Oh, absolutely.
So like he's not infallible.
No, and
he has a lot more creative he has to come up with.
Sure, but I think he's gonna get his people around him.
Yeah, absolutely. Road Dogg can stop begging for a fucking job on Twitter.
What a fucking! Do you see his quote from that interview today? He's like, I've been telling Tony Khan like what's wrong with the show, but I've been begging him for a job, and I don't know why he won't hire me.
Yeah, I can tell you why, you idiot.
He's a fucking fool.
Right.
I think he's gonna get his couple key guys there. I think he's gonna leave Sean have NXT.
Yeah.
Let Sean run that. That's fine.
I think that makes the most sense.
Bruce will be there. I don't know how long.
Bruce is such an interesting thing because, again, Bruce is a big Vince yes man, but also, if Vince didn't create a character in the 90s, fucking Brucey did.
Yeah.
Bruce could be an invaluable asset on the creative side.
I mean,
but he's also old school.
He's old
Runs
school.
It differently.
I think, and somebody was bringing this up, and I was like, wow, didn't even think of this. Paul Heyman.
Right.
You know, I'm not saying every idea Paul Heyman's ever had is good, because it isn't, for sure.
No.
But let Heyman be there.
This is my words. People can tear this apart all they want. Out of everyone that's there that could be put in charge of creative in some way, I'm willing to say that Heyman is a genius.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just what it is.
I would love to see...
Checks also bounce. Like, geniuses also have checks that bounce.
You know what? He ain't paying anybody this time. It's not on his
exactly.
dime. You know, I would say it's going to be interesting because SummerSlam is TV 14.
Right.
Heyman strives in a better, more like adult-oriented product.
Sure does.
I think there's a couple key things I'd like to see. Make tag teams a non-forgotten thing and valued thing. And I mean just tag teams outside of just the Usos and the Street Profits.
Right.
I love both those teams. I think they're both fantastic, but we need something more.
Wrestling's better when you have a strong tag team division.
You got to build the Intercontinental title again.
Yep.
Build the U.S. title again. Right. Make that shit important.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of the term wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
I get you have to keep some sort of like sports entertainment stuff. I totally understand that, but like, let's not shy away from that shit.
They're still going to be delivering a different product than AEW.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, AEW is a different thing. And I know our boy Nash came out and compared it to Thunder this week.
Did he really?
He said that AEW, he watches AEW, it looks like WCW Thunder. Which, whatever, that's fine. I think he's misremembering Thunder a little bit. Because Kevin, you were on Thunder. I was watching Thunder.
Kevin, he's has my favorite Thunder episode of all time when he was on commentary.
Right.
He booked himself to retire.
He did, because he's amazing.
And for WCW to recoup some of those funds,
right?
He's on commentary.
But with Paulie too, like, it's such an interesting thing with Paulie because we talk about Vince's impact behind the scenes in wrestling forever. Heyman's been involved in wrestling for a very long time. And people, ECW, behind the scenes, whatever,
sure.
win or lose, bounce checks or not, almost get murdered live on pay-per-view by Tommy Dreamer or not. He is a guy who took a regional wrestling company with a groundswell and made it what was the biggest threat to Vince at the time to anybody at the time. WCW, yeah. Right, WCW was the bigger, but WCW was around forever. Paulie took
it was fresh air. It was a breath of fresh air.
Right, but he made a strong number 3 competitor.
Absolutely did.
So much so that Vince was like, "Hey, we're going to work together
because I'm going to be a silent partner here and fund you."
Right, Paul, and before that, Paulie's involved in WCW and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Has a great eye for people.
Look at some of the guys that are coined Paul Heyman guys. Right. Taker.
Right.
Steve Austin.
You don't have Stone Cold if Heyman doesn't call him and put him on those ECW
Steve
shows.
Austin.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar. Mm-hmm. CM Punk.
Right.
Right. That's a pretty strong 4 right there. Right.
Cesaro.
Dude, I remember when that was going to happen. How fired up I was. Yep. I go, oh my God, they're going to push him to the goddamn moon. He's going to be a world champion.
That was the key for his world championship there.
It only took a couple of years later. But
it's such a weird spot. You can speculate. If we can spend the next 2 hours speculating.
We really could.
It's going to be interesting to see what the wrestling product becomes. I think he's going to get more eyes because I'm interested. I'm not going to watch right away, but I'm interested to see what they do. If they can make it back to a watchable product, because frankly, it's been unwatchable. Yeah. There's maybe a match or two that's not, but as a whole, it's unwatchable, right?
Yeah.
They have some young guys and some stars that can break out and move into a new direction. And then the legal side of it with Vince and Johnny Ace and Kevin Dunn and what's going to happen with all those guys.
Yeah.
And I sort of wonder too, and I know that these payments go back a bunch of years, but sort of Vince going a little loopy, a little soft in the brain. Maybe that's why he was doing this stuff. He, didn't, you would like to think he has the wherewithal. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Not a lot of great reports. But he also still has his backers because fucking Brock walked.
Yeah, there was the reports he walked, but then he got talked back in at the end of the show.
Did you see CM Punk's comments on that?
I sure did.
Oh boy,
dude, say what you want about
wrong.
Phil, but
he ain't wrong.
He doesn't. I don't know. He doesn't dance around things.
No, not at all.
Especially when it comes to WWE.
Right? Why does he need to?
Yeah,
he ain't going back there.
When he's like, look what the fuck they did to Sasha and Naomi.
Right.
And then look what they did to Brock.
I saw the report today that apparently Trips and Steph are going to try and get him back.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why the fuck not?
Right.
I would.
Absolutely.
And that's one thing Punk did say, which I do agree. I'll see it. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
Let's see if the culture actually changes there.
That's the biggest thing. The TV show can remain shit and not my thing. That's fine. They're raking in the money. Their attendances are good. All that stuff. That's not a problem. The culture is the biggest need for change there. And if the culture gets better, the shows will get better.
Absolutely.
Because
morale gets better. It's better all
the
around.
Wrestlers will be more invested in what they're doing and not just walking in, reading a script, doing their business, and leaving until their contract's up. Improving the culture could improve the shows too. And AEW has its detractors, and people talk about this and that. And the other thing people want to say, and we'll talk about this later too, but Tony Khan's unreachable, this and that. But then a guy like Joey Janela comes out and he's like, listen, my time didn't work out there, but I never had a problem talking to Tony Khan or getting a hand with him. And guys like Joey Janela being real honest about it, and there's always going to be problems. Nobody's fucking perfect.
No, of course.
But when you have a better backstage culture, the wrestlers are going to have fun and you get better stuff out of them.
Absolutely.
It's just what it is. They're more willing to throw their ideas in. They're more willing to go out there and put on a better performance. All that sort of stuff. More people are happy. Not everybody's going to be happy. You can't please everybody. There's always going to be, I didn't like this, or this person didn't do this, or this and that, and the other thing. But the culture change is probably the biggest needed thing in the WWE. Everything else will fall into place afterwards. And they'll all lay where they are. And that's that.
Yeah,
but
and there's a ton of reports
I'm
that
interested in it.
People the wrestlers love Steph.
Right.
They love Trips. So we'll see where it goes. I'm very intrigued. Yes. I'll say that much so far.
Right. Well, and just think, again, we'll move on, but just the relationships with people outside of the company currently that they can mend without Vince there. The relationships they can establish with older wrestlers that will bring some legitimacy and some, not into the ring, but if you can get Mick Foley with his Legends contract back involved in some way with this company, that also goes a lot of goodwill.
He's a genius.
A lot of these guys, you can just bring them back in and involve them and ask them and talk to them. and show that they're a part. Because Vince, when he was leaving the Then Now Forever, whatever. Yeah. Well, you cast aside a shit ton of fucking people.
Sure.
So like, let's bring some of these people back in the fold. I'm not saying put Teddy Long back on TV, but I'm saying like you can show that you have an active working relationship with these people, and it'll ease the minds. That fly's been flying around this house for
it's driving me fucking nuts.
But they can do that too. It's just the culture. The culture.
Jesus Christ.
The culture. That's hilarious. The culture change needs to happen before anything else.
Yeah, I agree. But for the sake of this podcast, we could seriously talk. We can talk
forever. Listen, I love talking about this shit.
I do too. I really do, man.
But we spent a half hour on it.
Yeah, so we gotta
let's walk on.
Yeah. So I did watch a little bit of Raw.
Okay.
The Roman stuff, I'll tell you what, man, Roman Reigns is a fucking star.
Right.
It was at Madison Square Garden, which, great atmosphere always. Roman's a goddamn star.
Sure.
When he said to theories like, your daddy ain't here to protect you anymore.
Yeah.
Good line.
Right.
When the one mic wasn't working and Heyman's like, get the name of that guy. You'll be the next one out of here, bud.
Nice.
That was funny.
Yeah.
But really, I liked the Rey Mysterio 20-year WWE celebration.
Yeah.
That was nice. It gave him about 5 minutes or so. He did a nice little speech. I was like, he wasn't here for 20 years straight.
That's my problem. He left.
Yeah, he was gone.
He was supposed to have that match with Tanahashi in New Japan.
Yeah, but that shit got canceled.
Right. He was doing some stuff.
It's crazy. He was on the first All In show.
Right.
He was in the main event.
Right. Crazy.
That's nuts.
Right. Crazy to think that potentially we would have had a world where Ray was in AEW.
Yeah.
Ray versus the Lucha Brothers.
God.
Like Ray Penta.
Oh.
We were
robbed.
Right. Robbed.
Good
for Ray. I love Ray.
Yeah, it was one of those, I love Rey Mysterio. Right. And I always, when you list out your favorite wrestlers and stuff, he's a guy I don't think I remember all the time, which sucks.
Ray,
but man, is he just incredible?
Ray,
he's still incredible.
He is still incredible. He's one of the best ever. He's been doing it for a really longer than 20 years too.
Yeah,
but Ray never makes it to my favorites.
Yeah,
but without Ray, I wouldn't like the wrestling I like.
Exactly,
because Ray is the first guy. He just our generation, my generation, your the first guy we ever saw do that stuff was Rey Mysterio. Right? If you saw him in ECW, and there was, of course, the Psychosis and Hoovy and all his opponents.
He was a standout.
But Ray was the first guy you ever saw do that kind of stuff from of my generation as a teenager, watching WCW. We didn't see anybody like that ever.
Yeah.
Before. And they were there. We just didn't have access to it.
No, you didn't. Which is why I still wish WCW won.
Right. So Ray is just this super important dude who then managed to become this sort of ascend out of that division and become much bigger, much more popular, and is a fucking legend.
Yeah, dude, the moment of him winning the Royal Rumble,
right.
Him winning the world title at WrestleMania, granted, there was a dog shit fucking run that they gave him, but hey, just to say, Rey Mysterio won the world title at WrestleMania,
right,
amazing.
He gave us Blutista.
I love Rey Mysterio.
I do too.
One of the fucking coolest of all time.
Yeah.
So cool to see you still doing it, man.
I have a question for you, and this is a little off the topic, but it was really quick. Favorite Rey Mysterio gear, scheme.
God.
When you think of Rey Mysterio, what's the one that pops into your brain?
Probably the red, white, and blue Spider-Man.
Me too.
Oh man,
me too.
See,
that's the Rey. When I close my eyes and think of Rey Mysterio, that's the Rey I think of.
I always say that, and then obviously
the Halloween Havoc
97 gear.
Right, but the bodysuit's so it looks great, but that's not how I think of him.
No, me neither. But and then I think of the split white and black gear that he had when he gets that Liger,
and he had a ton of great gear. I always loved one of my favorite things when I was a kid was when he would come out in WCW.
Pink and black gear was always real cool.
When he would come out in WCW and the mask wouldn't match the tights, so I knew he was taking the mask off. And when I was a kid, I wanted a Hitman sunglasses, and then when I was a teenager, I know I was too old for it, but I wanted that Ray mask.
I still want a Ray mask.
Right, I still want a Ray mask from Ray's hands.
Yeah,
but it was so cool to see when he would come out and be like, "It doesn't match. He's going to take it off." Yeah. I love that. But when I close my eyes, it's still no tattoos. red, white, and blue Spider-Man
my
gear.
Rey Mysterio.
It's just what it is.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. So,
even on Raw, the main event I did watch, it was Usos and Roman against Riddle and Street Profits.
okay.
It was really
Riddle got hurt.
Yeah, it was afterwards Seth Rollins beat him up.
Yeah.
But it was a good match, man.
Yeah.
Street Profits, Usos forever.
They have good wrestlers.
They have great chemistry.
But
they just do.
But they have really good wrestlers. But Vince shying away from that stuff.
Just those guys.
But like you do, and sadly, Montez Ford they're going to move him on. Not sadly. That's great because he's awesome. But it's a hurt to the tag team division.
Yeah.
But like Montez Ford is your star. He has it all.
Yeah,
he has it all. He could have just called me up a bunch of years ago. I would have told you that. But
when Dwayne the Rock Johnson is giving him props in an interview,
right?
Yeah, it's time.
Right. Right. He's a good-looking guy. Great. He can put on a little bit of weight, but he doesn't need to.
Oh, he has though.
Has
Have
he?
You seen, dude?
I don't watch.
He's like jacked.
Is he?
Now.
Got yoked. Good for him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember Joe talking about that. He's on the meal plan.
Yeah.
For the singles push.
He sure is.
He's charismatic, and on top of all of that, he's married to Bianca Belair, so they can have a husband and wife champions, and that's always the story they fucking love.
Absolutely.
And it always kind of works.
I agree, man.
And Bianca's awesome too. So
yeah, Bianca's fantastic. Yeah. I think it's her and Becky at SummerSlam this year.
If only Becky was prettier.
Dude, like, what an insane
what the fuck are you talking
right?
about?
She's like better than ever right now.
Yeah.
So they announced the other day as well in 2024, sir.
Yes.
WrestleMania 40 coming to you live from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Saving my pennies now.
Lincoln Financial Field. We got to go at least one day.
Listen, we do.
I have to hit one day.
I've already talked about it. I've always wanted to go to a Mania. I never have. Yeah. I'll sit in the fucking nosebleeds. I don't care.
Yeah,
I want to be at a Mania.
Yep.
I want to do everything else. I'd love to get through the Hall of Fame. My dream pay-per-view of anything is still a Rumble. I want to do a Rumble.
Yeah.
They'll come back around. The next time there's a Rumble within driving distance, we're going to the Rumble.
Absolutely.
Spoiler alert. Don't tell her I told you this to admit in public.
Michelle wants to go to WrestleMania?
Michelle said that if a Rumble comes near, she'll go to the Rumble. Because she loves the Rumble that much. She said, I'll go to a Rumble. That's what she said. But she won't go to Mania. But I want to do a Mania.
I'd like to hit one day.
Yeah, one day. Hopefully.
Just one.
Right. It sucks because the tickets will go on sale before we know the card.
Yeah, but hey.
But that's fine. I just want to go there. I want to experience it. I'll never go to another one.
No.
I'm good. Yeah. But this is 25 years since they've been in Philly.
Yeah, it was WrestleMania 15.
Also, Pennsylvania in April is a fucking crapshoot.
It certainly
is. It could be below freezing.
Yep, it could be snowing.
It could snow. It could torrential downpour.
It could be 75 degrees.
Or it could be 70. Right.
Who knows?
You're rolling the dice. You are absolutely 100% rolling the dice there. Plus, and I like that.
And I said to you, there's going to be all the fucking indies and surrounding areas. Yes. Who knows? It's way off in the distance.
Way off in the distance.
But hey, soon to be named network, if you're listening.
Yeah.
Let's have a WrestleMania party.
Let's
do this shit.
Yeah. We'll show you around Philly.
I did see somebody, I think it was Dollar King, was like, that's great that WrestleMania is in Philly, but I'll tell you what, people, you better watch the fuck out. There's that Philly Bulls don't play.
Yeah.
Just don't go to
We'll show you around Philly.
Don't go to North Philly. Don't stay out of
We'll show you around Philly.
So, all right, shit we watched, I guess.
Is that all the news we have?
Yeah.
I guess so. It's all the fit to print. All right, let's do this. We also have a lot of wrestling we watched.
We do. I did watch the rivalry series again.
Okay, I'm still not watching
I didn't watch the Legend, the biography, because it was on the Bellas this week, and I don't give a fuck.
Throwing that term around.
But the rival episode was Rock Austin.
Oh, great one.
Man, it's so cool seeing that shit again.
Yeah.
Obviously WrestleMania 15, WrestleMania 17, WrestleMania 19.
Right. Was new interviews with The Rock or anything? No.
It wasn't even new with Austin.
No, really? That's a bummer.
Yeah, but it's just fun seeing that again.
Yeah, sure.
It just takes me back to my childhood.
Yeah, I lived it.
Man, those matches are all incredible for their own goddamn reasons.
Right.
I've been digging the rivalry series. It's pretty cool.
Good. Do they put them up on the cock at all or no?
I don't think so because they're A&E produced.
They're A&E? Okay.
Kevin Nash had the line of the evening when he goes, you make friends with guys like you work with and you have feuds with. Yeah, you end up becoming close friends. Mm-hmm. He goes, but then the guys you make money with, you become best friends. I'm like, God damn it, I love you, Kevin Nash.
Right.
So I guess we'll start off with a little pay-per-view we watched on Saturday.
Yes.
Ring of Honor, Death Before Dishonor.
Yes.
The first official show under the Tony Khan name.
Yeah, fully 100% TK'd out.
Fully him.
Yeah.
There was some shit on the pre-show. Willow was on the pre-show.
Yeah. I didn't even
not
write
much
down
like
what was on
else.
It was good pre-show, but
okay.
Yeah.
We see that Prince Nana has bought Tully Blanchard
Right.
Enterprise.
Yes, and Tully's gone.
I guess Tully's gone, but hey, if Prince Nana's there, that makes me real happy.
Much more exciting. Like, I wasn't bought in on that group of guys.
Not at all.
The Gates of Agony and Brian Cage. Brian Cage again, like, talking shit. Like, that dude, I think he wants to get released because he thinks he has a better shot at the E right now again.
He's weird.
I don't know. But I wasn't sold on these guys. I like the one guy, the one Samoan guy in the Gates of Agony, Brian Cage. They did the setup on Rampage with Gresham beforehand.
Oh, yeah. They did.
But we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
We're a little out of order, but that's fine.
Yeah, it's okay.
It doesn't really matter. But I'm much more interested. Just calling them the Embassy and having them being led by Prince Nana.
And on their video already said the Embassy.
Right, has me much more interested.
I agree, man.
Than anything else.
Yeah.
Because I like Prince Nana, and that's a connection to Ring of Honor where it belongs.
You're damn right.
So,
the show started right off the bat.
Yeah.
Ring of Honor World Title, Claudio versus Jonathan Gresham.
Right, and they said on commentary they did a coin toss.
Yes. Good. I like that.
Uh-huh.
Claudio finally a world champion.
Right.
Who the fuck would have thought it would take this long?
I mean, Claudio, much like Eddie Kingston, for me, I've seen him wrestle from pretty much his beginning over here. Like, he comes over and he wrestles, becomes a mainstay Chikara guy.
Sure.
I've seen him wrestle live forever. He's always been great. He's always been natural. And the where he differs from Kingston in that sort of me seeing him forever is that everybody immediately looked at Claudio and was like, oh, he's not going to be here for long.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. Yep.
6'5", 6'6".
Big dude, muscular,
big,
athletic,
handsome,
as hell, strong as hell.
Yeah. The long hair after a while wasn't working great on him. The shaved head making him look more like Jason Statham really worked.
Sure did.
But just right from the beginning, we were like, use this guy while you have him because he ain't going to be here for very long. And he was on the Indies for a long time.
He was longer than I ever thought he would be.
And he had great runs in Ring of Honor and the Kings of Wrestling and all that sort of stuff.
Chikara, what was it? BDK.
BDK,
yeah, that
right?
Was fun.
But
I saw, I think it was him versus Sarah Del Rey at the ECW arena once, and it was fucking awesome.
He's always been super talented. His story's always great. He won the lottery, like a lottery to come over. Like his actual story is amazing.
Yeah.
He's always looked like $1 million.
Regal told the story of when he showed up, first time he ever met him. Yeah. He showed up at Dave Taylor. Dave Taylor was running like a finishing school. And he said guys that came through were like Punk, Brian, Hero, Claudio. He goes, Claudio, he was just there the one day. Like, he showed up and he goes, oh, you're Claudio. Nice to meet you and everything. He goes, oh, how'd you get here? He goes, oh, I got here from the airport. He goes, oh, that's cool. Did you take a taxi? He goes, no, I walked from the airport. Yeah. He was like, you walked from the airport all the way here? You nutcase. Yeah. But yeah, man, super pumped to see Claudio win.
It's great. Just a guy who's deserved it and more. And just for whatever bullshit policies never got through. Should have. Yeah. Absolutely. The fans were behind him. He would have been a great WWE champion.
Now to the other participant in the match. Jonathan Gresham.
Yep.
The reports, him and Tony Khan got into a heated exchange.
Right, and then when he found out the finish, he asked for his release. Yeah. And then he was upset he went on first.
The interview he did, I don't know if it was some podcast, some website, whatever.
Yeah, it's a podcast.
Just saying a lot of shit.
Yep.
Man, Gresham, I like Jonathan Gresham. I do.
Right. From a pure talent standpoint, he's fantastic.
I think he buys into his own bullshit a little too much.
Right.
With him saying technical wrestling is becoming a lost art and it's dead, and why am I not featured? And I go, Bryan Danielson, Zack Sabre Jr., Daniel Garcia,
amen,
Wheeler Yuta,
yep,
Lee Moriarty. I go, there's 5 guys right there that are quote unquote technical guys,
right?
That are like, their eyes are just super bright over these guys. Did I agree with some of the things he said? Yeah, I did.
Yeah, he's not completely wrong.
I don't think he's completely wrong about a lot of stuff. And listen, some of the things he said were race related. Mm-hmm. Who the fuck am I to tell you you're wrong?
Right.
I'm not.
It's
not my place.
Right. And we can name 1.5 million stories where in WWE and beyond, where people of color were put in lesser roles or shitty roles, or the whole thing they had fucking Titus O'Neil come out and be like, no religion, no politics, no race. Go fuck yourself. I can point to you 1 million things.
Yeah, from when they had Donald Trump versus Rosie O'Donnell.
Right. I can point you from Roddy Piper painting himself half black. Yep. Then throwing a toothpick on Saturday Night's Main Event to whatever. Yeah. I get it. And he's not wrong, but like you said, he also bought into his shit too much. Yeah. And, the biggest thing, and I've talked about this with a bunch of people, I've got a bunch of texts about it, is his height.
Yeah, man, and it's not a body shaming thing. It's really not. And he takes it that way.
Right. And nobody's trying to.
His wife takes it that way.
Right. His wife does him no favors.
No.
Like, she does her, she just had to ante up $5,000 because she was running her mouth on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, you gotta temper these sort of things, right? And Gresham is a guy, and again, I think Gresham, pure talent, is fantastic.
I agree.
He can do anything you can ask him to do in that ring. The problem is, he only wants to do what he wants to do in that ring. And that creates an issue. And is technical wrestling the style that's knocking down the world right now? His style of it isn't.
No.
Because while Garcia is a technical wrestler, he has more than that. Bryan's a technical wrestler, he has more than that. Brent Hitman Hart is one of the best technical wrestlers of all time. He had more than that.
Look at Zack Sabre Jr.
Look how far Sabre has come.
That's what I mean. Look how far he's come. He used to be a Gresham guy where it's just, okay, cool, you do a bunch of technical shit, but you're boring as fuck. Look at Zack Sabre's promos now.
Exactly.
Incredible.
And I don't want to make this the Gresham show here, but like his height is an issue, and not from a body shaming standpoint. And I get he takes it that way. It sucks that he feels that way, and I'm sure there are people who do shame him in that way.
Of course, yeah.
But when you look at that Claudio match, and there's a foot difference, it creates a problem visually on the screen. It's just what it is. I think he move for move against Claudio is probably the same. But when Claudio can kneel and be as tall as him, it creates an image. It just creates an imprint. The first thing you see, you get a first impression. Whenever you look at anything, you get a first impression. If you're at a bar and you see someone that you think is attractive, you get a first impression of that person. Any of that sort of thing. And when he gets into a ring and he gets eyes on him, especially at a show like this, and you see the difference, you're like, oh, okay, what's this? So it's already an uphill battle, right? Because he's about the same height as Rey Mysterio.
Well, and that I'm happy you said that, because that's what I was going to bring up. I saw a lot of talk of, people love Rey Mysterio. Right.
And
dude, it was completely different.
Rey's style is easier for a crowd to get behind.
Yeah.
And I know Gresham had a problem going heel, right? That style, I've said this a few weeks ago, that style fits a heel better.
It's a heel style.
Because you need to be able to stretch people and be a motherfucker, right? He's not a brawler. He's not going out there and throwing great punches and anything. He's stretching you. He's doing joint holds. That stuff isn't exciting to a modern wrestling audience. Is it right or wrong? It's not for me to say. He's saying it. Yeah. And then he's saying that wrestling needs new rules and that all wrestling is the same.
Yeah.
And he did that Terminus thing and that failed. Like, it bombed.
How about he even fucking deleted his Twitter?
He's left wrestling.
Promotions Twitter.
He's left wrestling. But he is booked. He's booked on that Ric Flair show.
Is he really?
He is. He's in a 4-way.
Yeah, dude. I don't know.
We can talk about this forever again.
Yeah.
I'm not looking to body shame a guy. It's a guy that I've seen wrestle and I've enjoyed watch wrestling, but he does not have a connection with the crowd and with either in-house or with an audience at home. It's not that people don't cheer him. People like him. And I appreciate that he carried the Ring of Honor banner and this championship when it was seemingly in the wind and nobody knew. That's great. And the other side of it, too, is you have to have real-world expectations about wrestling. And any job you're in, if you worked an office job and you got up high enough in an office job and they hired a new CEO, that CEO is going to bring in his or her own people.
They want to put their stamp.
They're going to want to say, well, I worked with this person before.
Absolutely.
I want to continue to work with them. I'm going to bring them in and put them in a leadership role here or there. And that's what's happening here. Tony Khan wants his guys with these belts.
Of course. And I'm sorry, but who's going to move the needle more? Jonathan Gresham or Claudio Castagnoli.
Right. And I'm sure there was long-term plans for Gresham. You know, him getting put with Tully Blanchard wasn't a bad spot. Cage is there. They have up until, as far as we know about Brian Cage, they have big plans for Ring of Honor for him. Yeah. Gresham's not a bad spot for him there. It's this, and you know, you rub people the wrong way. You boo-boo face when you're coming out. You don't bring it. You don't wear any of the gimmick. Yeah. Like, all that stuff hurts, and you've done that. It doesn't mean you can't rehab it and come back. And I get the disappointment, but like he handled it the wrong way. And what I see a lot of people saying is that like he had said so much time as Ring of Honor champion, sitting there carrying it around, getting sort of praised and loved on the indies, keeping it alive because it was such an important name. They had all the time in the world to book himself where he thought he should go. And that's not the way Tony Khan's necessarily going to go. No. And when it didn't go the way he had thought about it, probably hours and hours, laying in hotel rooms, talking with his wife, I'm going to do this, and this belt means this to me, and I want to bring this back, and I want to do all this stuff. So when he comes and that wall is there, and it's like, no, we're going to do this because it's my company, it's what I want. Claudio brings more eyes. We're trying to figure out what it is. Absolutely. But we want you here. You're already signed. You're getting a paycheck. We want you around. We see your talent. Yeah. It's just not here yet. And you flip out and have a fit, and then you
get a reputation that you're hard to work with.
Right, and the ball's in Tony Khan's court to do whatever he wants. Tony Khan doesn't have to let him out of shit.
No, he doesn't. He can let him fucking sit there if he wants. Now,
So, I get the disappointment. I get the walking away. I don't get quitting wrestling. That baffles me completely to walk away. I get the disappointment again. He'll find a home. Impact would love to have him, I'm sure. Sure. I don't think he has that connection to get over with a crowd. I use this example on Twitter too, with Big Tom, Tomohiro Ishii. Tomohiro Ishii's 5'7". Yep. He's only 3, and that's booked. Like, who knows, But like the Gresham said that thing where he would tell promoters that he was 5'3", and they say, "Oh, we'll put 5'7". Yeah. He's like, "No, I don't want to shy away from it," and that's fine. That's commendable. Sure. Ishii's 5'7", but he's known. But like his reputation is like the toughest. You don't want to fuck with him. He's the toughest motherfucker. Every match he's in, you have to fight to win. Yeah. Like, actually make it look like you fight to win. And nobody, Big Tom, nobody questions Ishii's toughness. Never. Nobody questions Ishii's ability to beat anybody on that roster. When he's 5'7", and when he steps into the ring alongside Jeff Cobb, they do the spot where Jeff Cobb can't knock him down because he has a presence and a connection and makes you believe who he is. Right. Yeah. He makes the audience believe who he is that he says he is. And that's Gresham's weakness to me. And I just, I get it's tough, and I get that wrestling at times, and a lot of times is fucking racist as shit, and I get that it's a body guy company or profession, and the taller guys are always going to win out, and it sucks. Yeah. But don't take your ball and go home.
No, and I think it was MVP kind of sent a tweet out where he was like, "Listen, in this fucking business, you better get tough skin, and you better get it quick."
And you know what?
Sorry, not everybody's gonna love your shit.
Right, and Gresham is a fantastically talented wrestler, but I can name you 30 of them that are waiting for their shot.
I agree.
And he had a shot here. He's had a shot for a while. He had a shot here. There's plenty of
yeah, I'm with you.
Again. Claudio's the right decision here across the board.
10 out of 10 times.
It's what it is.
It's
what it is.
Yeah,
and it was a good match. It was short.
Yeah, it was short.
It was short. I think Gresham didn't want to play ball, so they just did. All right, well, you can come out and play ball, and Claudio can make you look like $1 million, or you can not play ball, and Claudio can manhandle you.
I think they're gonna go.
And I don't even think Claudio manhandled
him.
It was just 10
minutes.
Right. It was just 10 minute match. Right.
See it, bud.
Right. Right. And it's not like this pay per view went long. They could have went 20 or longer.
Yeah, they could have.
Yeah. So.
So the next match that I have written down here.
Yes.
The ROH Pure title.
The Dalton Castle versus the Righteous. Who was the Righteous? I don't even remember.
The fucking Vinny guy. I don't remember his name.
Okay.
With all the fucking dreadlocks and shit.
No, that's later, ain't it?
No, he's part of that tag.
Was he?
Yeah, Dalton Castle and the boys on the 6-man.
With Bateman and right, okay. Dalton Castle and the boys win the tag titles.
Yeah,
so good for them. I like Dalton and the boys.
Yeah,
sure. The boys have names now. Good for them.
Yeah, but yeah, Pure title.
Yes,
we were you to Daniel Garcia.
Right.
This match was fucking awesome. I thought
it was.
They beat the shit out of each other. Wheeler getting the win with the seatbelt, I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
It was under pure rules. I loved Regal on commentary saying, I will be disappointed if Yuta goes for a rope break. I'm going to be real mad about it.
Right.
Regal on commentary adds so much to everything.
He does.
He builds up his guys' opponents.
He brings a legitimacy to what's happening in the ring.
Yeah, he really
does. Which is interesting. I have in my notes here that this is my match of the night. I wrote that as this match was happening.
I was going to say, what?
Yeah, that gets changed.
Okay.
But I still love that nobody kicks out of the seatbelt.
It's great.
Protect the shit out of it. Nobody in Japan kicked out of it.
No.
And Garcia doesn't kick out of it here.
No, it's perfect.
Yes.
Garcia flipping off Yuta, like, he ain't abiding by the code of honor, brother.
Yep.
Then you had the match of Roosh versus Dragon Lee.
Yes. Brother versus brother.
I thought this over-delivered. I didn't expect much coming into it.
Yeah, I'm not a big Roosh guy.
No?
No.
Okay, do you still feel that way after Dynamite?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll talk about it.
I'm not saying he's not good. I'm just not a big guy. I'm just not my guy.
Yeah, I get that.
He's another one who boo-boo faces, and you don't know what Roosh you're getting until he starts moving in that ring.
Yeah.
So
I thought this was awesome.
Yeah, no, I think this match is great, but I'm not a big Roosh guy. That's all. You know,
they're two legit brothers, and they just beat each other up, which is fun.
Right.
TV title, Samoa Joe.
Mercedes versus Serena Deeb, brother.
That where that was?
Yeah.
I thought it was after that.
I just have the note of that there was a sweet Spider German.
Yeah, that was
That's all.
Yeah.
Mercedes wins?
Yep.
Yeah, so.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, let's get Deeb out of there.
Should have had that title on Willow. That's just me, though.
Oh, absolutely. But
yeah, Joe versus Lethal.
Yeah.
For the TV title.
Mm-hmm.
Joe looking like Joe.
Right.
You know, a lot of questions about Joe's health and Joe's this and Joe's that. Dude, when Samoa Joe wants to be Samoa Joe, he's still one of the best.
Nobody can stop him. Right.
I thought this was better than I thought. I thought it was going to be.
Right.
So credit to Samoa Joe.
Yeah, because especially recently, I don't look forward to Jay Lethal in any way.
Certainly not.
Especially not when he's going to have to ask questions about a death in the ring come Monday.
God. Main event. 2 out of 3 falls for the ROH Tag Team titles.
Certainly was.
FTR versus the Briscoe brothers. Holy shit.
Not only match of the night, but my current contender for match of the year.
Coming into this, the first one from the first encounter from Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor.
Yeah.
That was my match of the year.
Mm-hmm.
This is my new match of the year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
This went 45 minutes or so?
Yeah, probably about that. 43 and change, I think. Yeah.
These guys just went for it the whole goddamn time.
So I don't have any notes on this match because we were just fucking, you and Joe were just crazy. Yeah. And again, we say it all the time, I love tag team wrestling. Yeah. I was looking forward to this. And I don't want to say controversial, but the first one, I loved it. But I've said on this podcast that I did something about it to me didn't kick it up to a 5-star level, right? It was a 4.5.
Go back and watch it.
4.75. It just the first one, just something about it to me didn't kick it to that level. I loved it, but didn't kick it to that level. And watching this one,
I know what it is.
What?
You heard the hype about the match before you saw the match, and I think that hurt.
Did we not watch that live?
No.
That's possible.
I think that hurt it.
I think that is because people tell me it's a 5-star match, so I'm looking for a 5-star match. And I don't get it.
At the time, we're saying this is the greatest tag team match of all time.
Right.
And I think that hurt it for you.
Right. And I don't think necessarily that this is the greatest tag team match of all time. But this is better. And the reason in my head right now why I think this one elevates where the first one didn't is because this one breaks down into craziness a little more than that first one did. This one, because it's 2 out of 3 falls, they both had to find different ways to fight off one another, and it just eventually stops becoming at some point 2 really good wrestling teams and becomes guys trying to beat the shit out of each other and do crazy shit. And I think that's what elevates it for me because the storytelling then is like, I've thrown everything at this guy. They've taken big rigs and kicked out. They've taken J drillers and kicked out. Yep. What do I do next? And it's like, well, we try stuff off an apron. We try stuff through a table. We do crazy shit. And you're benefited in this match because it's 2 out of 3 falls that you can put somebody through a table towards the end because it's not, you're fighting on another finish. So like I like the way it was framed. I like the way where the falls came in. I would have done the disqualification stole from the Hart Foundation demolition, but that's fine that you didn't. I thought it was awesome. But I like that sort of, all right, we're here to wrestle, and then the falls happen, and they're like, all right, now we're here to kill you.
Man,
so
it was fucking so good.
It was really good. It was amazing.
The spot to the table on the outside.
It'd be really hard to beat this for match of the year.
I know Joe pointed out, Bald FTR, his pile driver is
it's beautiful.
Crisp.
It's beautiful.
The fucking finish was great. The pile driver off the second rope and the subtle roll over into the pin.
It was just like his feet on him or whatever.
Yeah, it was his feet over his shoulders. Like,
awesome.
You don't see that. Nope. That doesn't fucking happen.
Nope. And that alone tells the story. It's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Big ups to all four of these dudes.
Yep.
FTR is like the biggest redemption project for me, I think.
Absolutely.
I like them in NXT. I always liked their in-ring work. I always thought they were kind of fucking babies.
Right.
But man, I'll tell you what, the past like 6 months to 8 months or whatever now, I love those guys.
Crazy. Right.
They're incredible.
And they've done that, like, I can speak to for you being Joe, like, they've done that for the three of us, like, very much so. The Briscoes, we talk about it all the time. We've talked about when we were watching them. Guys have been good forever. You know, they're in the series, they're down 2-0.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I think you can run this. They're so good you can run this back whenever.
Whenever you want.
But the thing that FTR does that's a disservice right now to AEW is that there is not a tag team on that roster.
Not a single one that can lace
that
their
has
boots,
the hype,
hold their jocks,
right?
Whatever you want to say.
Nobody has the hype, or the proof in the ring, to have a title belt.
Look at the build
and they're
up.
sitting at number one contender and not getting. And it's the biggest flaw in AEW's ranking system, which they need to get rid of. Is that they're number one contender, and you can't give them a shot because they believably won't lose. Yeah. They cannot believably lose. You would have to fuck finish them.
You cannot have them lose to Swerve and Keith Lee.
Right. You'd have to fuck finish them. Yeah. It's just what it is. Man, and I like Swerve and Keith Lee, and I think they're great in that position.
But compared to FTR, nope.
They're going to have to sit FTR out for a bit.
You can't hold a candle to them
right now.
Like, they're just
not right now.
Unreal.
Right.
I like his little post match afterwards. He's like, "I fucking love this shit. I love pro wrestling." Like, that was cool. You know. Yeah. I mean, overall for Ring of Honor, that was a really good pay per view.
Really good show. Tight timeline.
Yeah.
Really front to back. Really good matches.
I thought so too, man.
Like nothing that I disliked. Even people that I wasn't really that into. It was still good stuff.
It'll be curious moving forward what happens if they do get a TV deal.
Yeah.
We'll see.
The one thing that I'm anxious for is for them to get off AEW TV.
That seems to be like the general consensus.
Because I get it. You want to keep people talking about it. I would, for the time being, make a YouTube show, your Ring of Honor show, or something. Because it's listen, it's happening on Rampage. We'll talk about it, but like. You don't need to give up time on a TV show, nationally televised, for Sanjay Dutt to wrestle again.
Oh,
You don't need to give Satnam Singh national TV time.
No.
It's just not what it is. When it's on Ring of Honor, sure. Even though he sticks out like a sore thumb in that, too. But, like, it just, I'm like, oh, cool, Sanjay Dutt's wrestling, and that's awesome. Sanjay's really good. At least he was. And I'm sure he's just going to do, like, comedy bullshit, whatever. But, like, Rampage is getting the dog shit kicked out of it online.
Well, let's talk about Rampage.
Okay, this happened before the Ring of Honor show.
Yeah, this was before.
You got to manage your time a little better, and it worries me. I need Ring of Honor to figure out where it's going because you're taking away time here.
Well, so Rampage, this was the night before the Ring of Honor pay-per-view.
It was.
First match was John Silver and Hangman Page against Butcher and the Blade.
Yes.
I thought it was okay.
It was fine.
It's tough when a lot of the matches there's no.
Yeah.
It's never in doubt who's going to win.
Right. Well, and so this is an interesting thing because I think Gresham might even have brought him up to jump back, but John Silver's not a tall guy.
No, he's tiny as fuck.
Right, and he's built.
And look how over he is.
He connects with the crowd.
Yeah.
Gresham doesn't.
No, he just doesn't.
And I know Gresham said, "Oh, why do black wrestlers need to have a character?" And I think character's taken out of context in wrestling. There's not really a character anymore. No.
Other than guy who wrestles good.
Right, exactly.
There's some characters,
you don't need a character so much as you need a distinct personality. And a guy like Silver sort of has made that connection with the crowd. And again, because his style is a thing that's a little more favorable to crowds and the TV and all that sort of stuff.
He's funny, the Johnny Honey, the Meat Man.
Right, and he's a talented wrestler.
Absolutely.
And he's just, again, a little guy, but it works.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was fine.
Speaking of like personality, the little Wardlow thing that they did. Like the pre-tape where he's just like, I'll beat the shit out of AEW's roster.
Right.
I'll beat the shit out of New Japan's roster. I'll beat the shit out of Ring of Honor's roster.
Right.
I'll beat the shit out of any roster in the world. Like, you're stepped into Wardlow's world. I go, that little, 30 seconds right there, I go, yeah, he'll fuck up anybody.
Right.
There's your personality. It was just, no, I'll kill you.
For sure.
And I love that.
Yeah.
More on, I feel like character building's the big fucking part of this.
Right. Because we get a Claudio promo.
Yeah, and it was fucking awesome.
The WWE never let Claudio talk.
because he had an accent.
Right. So they'd let fucking Dutch Mantel talk for him. It was really good to hear Claudio talk.
Yeah, I agree.
I liked it. And then I watched this after the Ring of Honor show, so he mentions Tully Blanchard here, and I was like,
Yeah. Next match, though, you had Lee Moriarty versus Dante Martin.
Yeah.
I thought this match was very good.
I thought this was a very good match. Elevated for it feeling like a perfectly good television match.
That's
if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like they're both very good wrestlers. They can do a lot more in that ring than they're doing here. But for a TV match, what is it go 8 minutes?
Yeah, for a pre-tape TV match Friday at 10 o'clock at night.
I thought it was a perfect TV match to get these younger guys over, and AEW's doing a lot of that right now. We're going to talk about that a lot, I think, on this show. This is cool, and Moriarty we haven't seen a ton of, but he's a great sign, super talented. Dante's been around all over the place.
Absolutely.
Super high flyer guy. But you get so much little character work out of Moriarty holding those ropes at the end.
That's all you needed.
So smart.
It was just
little things.
Hook the rope.
Little things.
That's all it was.
Hook the ropes and then walk out and not take, consider but not take Stokes' business card.
But then when Seidel's yelling at him and he did that exaggerated, who, me,
It's
that picture's been going around on Twitter all week now.
It matters.
Yeah, this shit
matters. And this was a perfectly good TV match. I thought it was a cool little match. Guys who can fucking go. And just that little shit. Moriarty, I don't want to say no character, but he hasn't had a time to get up on there. We know he's a good wrestler. He's on Dark a lot. If you watch Enjoy Wrestling, you see him there. You see him on he's a super talented guy. He's definitely the next generation of AEW stars. He's going to bide his time for a bit, and hopefully he gets another contract and all that sort of stuff. But this little stuff where you see him hold the rope, you're like, oh, there's a character. There's not a character, but character. I think that's the difference.
Right. To his character,
right? Now. I think that's an important sort of delineation too. Not a character, but character.
Yeah.
Does he have character in some way? And he does. This is him toying with maybe cheating if he can get the win, whatever he needs to do.
Yeah.
Interesting little stuff.
Yeah. Then I have Britt and Jamie Hayter.
What the fuck was this?
Just squashing two people. Yeah. Sky Blue and somebody else.
Right. Ashley Dembois, who was in the hottie section during Dynamite. The baddies. What did I say? Hotties? Who's that?
Megan Thee Stallion. Are you thinking of hottie sauce?
I am, yeah. Well,
still stuck
in your
brain.
I think about Megan Thee Stallion a lot.
Well, same.
So.
But yeah, this is just pointless and just does nothing for anybody. So, cool.
You just described AEW's women's division.
They have the first ever, I feel vignette since the initial Wardlow vignette for Ari Daivari.
Yes.
I don't know if he's just going to be part of Ring of Honor because he was in on the show, the pre-show.
Sure.
I don't know. He's never been a guy who's ever done a thing for me.
No,
so
not in addition to AEW TV.
Yeah. Then you had the battle rap.
Yep.
All right. The Acclaimed versus the Gun Club battle rap. So I'm going to say this.
Okay.
I feel like this goes over. The whole concept of this goes over the majority of a lot of wrestling fans' heads.
Sure.
I really do.
Okay.
I feel like it's for not. I don't want to diss the olds, but it's not really for the olds.
Sure.
Battle rapping is a very niche of rapping.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. the crowd. I mean, granted, it's a Rampage. It's the second part of a taping.
Right.
It's pre-taped. I don't know if the reactions were all there real or not.
Sure.
It was okay.
So yeah. So I appreciate Caster being able to play to a crowd now as a babyface. Also, from months ago, if you heard it, like that ass boy, I don't know which one it is.
Austin
put out like a rap song or album
a while ago, yeah,
and like it was kind of good. So like he definitely pulled himself back to be worse than he is for this bit, because that's the bit, right? I can't get over his bad John Wayne tattoos, but anyway, yeah, it's fine. It's what it is. It's a funny thing. It's not like it's the first time it's happened in wrestling. No. They're trying to get the Acclaimed over as babyfaces more.
They're already over.
They're super over. Right. But, whatever. They had fun doing it, I guess.
Sure.
I don't know. I liked watching the...
Yeah, you liked it so much, huh? Yeah, you're young.
No, I like the guy, like the extras they hired to be like hype guys behind everybody.
Like shirtless dudes.
Random just dudes.
That doesn't happen in a goddamn battle rap.
Just random dudes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But as a connoisseur of Wild 'N Out that I am, this was fine. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The main event was Jay Lethal, Christopher Daniels, which I didn't watch most of it because I had to go take a poop.
The match was fine. Daniels is still a very, very talented wrestler.
Sure.
But the entire time you're just like, okay, so Joe just didn't want to waste Joe on this, or anything. Yeah. So they're just gonna do they're gonna hype this match without Joe even being mentioned on the fucking show. Whatever, it was a fine match, but this is sort of the thing. Like, okay, I get why you're doing it, but let's not waste AEW airtime on Ring of Honor.
Yeah, and even talking to Sposto about it, he's like, yeah, it's a match I didn't watch.
Right.
Just, I don't need to.
And that's
Glory Hound Daniels.
And Daniels, everybody knows who he is, but doesn't have a connection with anybody on TV. He hasn't been on TV in forever.
Yeah.
He's tag champs with Swerve somewhere.
And
Defy.
Yeah.
That's
weird.
It is weird. But I was just like, yeah, both these guys are good. Daniels is still awesome and has been awesome forever and never really got his shot, and is super important to Ring of Honor. But I don't need this. Let's, Rampage is getting annihilated in the ratings, and not that it matters. Again, they're doing fine in their spot.
Yeah.
But people bring up the ratings stink and the show's skippable and whatever.
Yeah.
I think this is a waste of airtime. I think you could use Rampage in a more meaningful way, and maybe you don't because it's in a bad spot. But I still would it seems like AEW is like, well, that's just Rampage is in a bad spot. It's just what it is. It's in a bad time spot. We're just going to do what we can because it's not in a great spot. Where my mentality would be, I'm going to make this bad spot a much watched spot.
Yeah,
and
people are
going to DVR or people are going to tune in because we're going to make sure this show's really good.
Yeah,
people are DVR and shit. If you don't watch Rampage live, I guarantee you fucking DVR and at least flip through it, or at least see if anybody says anything about it.
Yeah.
To see what I have to watch. So treat it like it's a must watch event, and the people will catch on. If you throw fucking Satnam Singh and Christopher Daniels and fucking Ashley D'Amboise, people are gonna be like, yeah, I don't need to. I don't need to watch this.
There's no need for me to see this,
right?
At all.
If we weren't covering it for the show, I'd probably skip a lot of stuff on Rampages. Because they don't matter or I'm not interested.
Not much to watch.
Make it a must watch show. Do what you got to do.
Fucking Christian versus Kenny Omega.
Right.
Remember the second Rampage with CM Punk debuted?
Right.
There's been good stuff on Rampage before, but it's just
right.
And it used to be an easy, fun watch. Now, it's just slogs.
Right. And this week coming up, I see what they have booked. It's some weird stuff.
Yeah.
And that's a shame because, and you don't know this going into it necessarily, but that crowd Wednesday, we're going to talk about it, is fucking hot.
Yeah.
Man.
Let's talk about them right now.
And you're going to waste them on a lackluster Rampage, and it's going to make Rampage look worse.
Yeah. Let's talk about them right now.
Yes.
Dynamite.
We're
kicking it off for the AEW World title.
And let me say, before we get into it, it's similar to that Rampage thing. On paper, before this started, did not look like an exciting Dynamite.
Yeah, it was a weird one.
You're like, okay, you have a Mox match, that's great. And it's like, okay, we have
Danielson versus Garcia.
Right, that's going to be good. There's your two matches, but then it's like, oh, we have a Jungle Boy's back, and like we're doing Tony Nese and Smart Mark teaming up. Like we're like, what's we have Rosa Yamashita, which was great, but we just saw it, and it's not like Rosa's gonna lose.
Yeah,
so it's like, what's going on this Rampage? And they fucking crushed it.
It just turned out to be one of the best Rampages maybe ever.
Yeah, it was awesome.
So Moxley versus Roosh in the beginning, they just beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah,
and that's all I want in a match. They beat each other up, and it was fucking awesome.
Right. I think this Mox fighting champion Mox is the best thing they've done with that belt. I really do.
Yeah, he looks great.
I think they've had some.
Matches.
I think Hangman had a good run. I think there's been people with good runs. They've kept it pretty legit. I had my issues here or there, of course, like with anything.
Sure.
But this Mox wrestling every week, fighting champion, I think is the best thing. I think it makes Mox. It gives Mox the ability to put a stamp on this title that he didn't get during the pandemic.
I've said like he's getting his run in front of the fans, and he's a massive star.
Right, and he is this fighting champion. It's a great. You're putting the title visibly. He's having competitive matches. He ain't squashing people.
No,
he's having competitive matches. He's a hell of a professional wrestler. Giant star. Arguably they're number one.
Yeah,
I even think he could be bigger than he could be considered bigger than Punk when Punk's back. Mox,
that's going to be interesting.
It's going to be tough, but Mox is a big fucking star, and this run is engaging the crowd and elevating both him and this title, and it's the best thing they've done with that belt. I love it.
He's doing the one important thing. He's raising everybody up with him.
Absolutely.
Brody King. Look at the reactions Brody King got in that match against Darby last week.
Right.
Like Roosh, like he got a nice reaction. Like he's gonna get nice reactions. I'm telling you.
Yep.
How terrified were you after the match when you heard Jericho's music?
Man, I was pissed.
I was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. They're going to do this at the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I hate this. I hate this so bad.
Right.
Like, we don't fucking need this.
Right. So, I was so mad because, listen, who's my favorite wrestler in AEW right now? Eddie Kingston.
Yeah.
Who's the guy do I like watching the most? It's Eddie Kingston. The last we saw Eddie Kingston, he lost another big one.
Yep.
And, he was left standing afterwards. Doesn't fucking matter. Jericho could bullshit sell barbed wire and sit up on a fucking cart all he wants. Yeah. Kingston lost that match, and that's what matters. Kingston hasn't won a big one. He hasn't closed out a feud. This feud should have ended. Kingston should have won, and this is over.
Yep.
But I was like, okay, well, clearly they're having a good time, and it's still working, so they want to extend it out. Right? So I'm like, okay, so we'll see what happens with Eddie. And it's a thing that happens in wrestling. Eddie's my favorite, so I want to see my favorite every week, and it's not a possibility, unless you're Hulk Hogan. But, I want to see my guy every week. I want to see him win every match. I want to see all this sort of shit. So it's really disappointing when Jericho beat him in what is typically, it would be considered more of Eddie's match than Jericho's style. So when this happens, I was like, oh, Eddie thinks dead, huh?
Yeah, it's done.
That's done. And I don't think it is.
We'll see.
I don't think it is. I'm worried that it is.
I'm worried that it is.
But I don't think it is.
Well, I'll explain what I think's going to happen later.
Okay, I think we'll talk about that then. But I don't think it's done. But I was like, motherfucker, I don't need to see Jericho involved in this at all. And then Mox mentions the Super J Cup, and he wants a Lionheart. I'm like, it's a statistical impossibility at this point.
I was cool though. Like
it was cool.
It was cool. Sports entertainment shit.
Right. But Painmaker's the best you're gonna get. He doesn't. The Lionheart ain't gonna fucking do it. So.
If he comes out the White Zombie, I'll be very happy. I will say that. And then real quick, you get the announcement finally of the trios titles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
we've been waiting forever.
I guess they're gonna have a tournament, and the champs are gonna be crowned it all out.
Yeah,
so
that's cool. Let's go.
Yeah,
that means Kenny's coming back.
But the fucked up thing is, you're gonna have him back before All Out. Wouldn't you want him to come back at All Out?
Maybe
sell some papes.
Right.
Just my thought.
Right.
Maybe, kind of.
Here, well, so here's you could do some weird things. The Bucks sort of later on teasing their reunion with Hangman. You can do something like that, and then they screw Hangman over, and Kenny slides into the spot. and then Hangman has to shift over to Dark Order or something. I don't know, but they said they weren't going to do these until Kenny's back. Maybe the plan isn't for Kenny and the Bucks to win it all first.
Oh, that'd be silly. Though,
It'd be super silly. We'll see.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So the next match you have for the FTW title, Ricky Starks versus Danhausen.
What a great Starks promo package, little video vignette beforehand.
Dude, that
awesome.
Do you hear the pop Danhausen got?
Yeah, absolutely.
Jesus Christ!
Yes, right.
Way over.
Yeah.
You knew what this was going to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A little fuck around 2-3 minutes, Starks gets to win. It is what it is.
That's what it is. Right.
Danhausen's not there to win matches. He ain't there to win titles. He sells merch. He has fun.
Right. Right. He's there for the children.
As I take a drink, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So Ricky does his whole, same thing as last week. Give me some more competition. I'm just getting started. I'm ready.
Right.
Here comes Hook.
Which
I thought they were going to approach this a different way, though.
Me too. We said this last week. I said that Starks was gonna heal out a little bit and take advantage of Danhausen, and his buddy Hook was going to come down, which maybe it would have told the story a little better.
I thought they were going to have Starks and Hobbs kind of beat down
because
Danhausen a bit,
right? Because Hook just coming out the challenge. There's not a real reason behind it. Like if he's beating up Danhausen, then you have them have to question his split loyalties a little bit.
Yeah,
but it's fine. We knew Hook was coming out.
Yeah,
it's what it is. That's his daddy's belt. It's unrecognized.
Yo, the Julian Taz's voice,
right?
When this happened, so cool. Hook wearing the orange shorts,
right?
He just couple throws on Starks. I'll tell you what, some of the wrestling sequences look really nice.
Yeah.
Hook is your new FTW champion, rightfully where it goddamn belongs.
Yeah, right, and it's perfect because Hook is super. He's super green. You know, he's limited in the ring but convincing.
Yeah. Again,
give him this
massively
thing. Right.
Over.
It's his dad's thing. Give him this thing. He can come out and wrestle matches. Doesn't have to be involved in too much stuff. Doesn't have to be. Doesn't have to go to the limits in the ring or anything, and it'll work.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
Yeah. Goes to commercial, comes back, shows a bit of a replay. Then Ricky Starks is in the ring and interviewed by Shivani. And Starks cuts one of the best goddamn promos.
Right. Well, because him and Hook fist bump afterwards.
Yeah, they did. Which, of course, respect. I like that.
Oh, they're all Team Taz.
Yeah. And he cuts one of the most fired up, babyface turn promos
it was awesome.
ever.
Yep.
He's like, I'm sick of waiting for my time. My time's not next week.
Right.
My time's not next month. My time's not next year. It's my fucking time right now.
Right.
And that crowd's going ballistic for him. And all of a sudden, Hobbs decapitates him.
Kills him. Straight kills him. Yeah.
When I say I gasped, I actually gasped because I did not see it coming.
Right.
Wow.
It's perfect. It's exactly how you get everybody over.
It did it.
Not a single person walked out of this segment.
No.
In a worse spot. Everybody was elevated. Hook gets elevated. Danhausen is over his shit.
I would say, all you need, dude, him coming out, and it shows how over he is.
Starks jumps into the top picture for baby faces.
Yeah.
Hobbs jumps in the heel picture, and that's where Hobbs needs to be.
Absolutely.
And maybe Team Taz doesn't exist anymore. Maybe you do. Maybe you have Hobbs as...
It hurts my heart, man.
Right. But maybe you have Hobbs as Hook's heater a little bit. I don't know. Taz seemed pretty upset.
Hook doesn't need a fucking heater.
Right.
Hook has Hook.
But Taz seemed a little upset.
He was pissed, yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe Team Taz is eliminated, and
done.
that's fine.
I think it's
Taz has Taz's commentary the whole time now, so he doesn't have time to be doing promos and coming out into the ring. So that makes sense. Hobbs is a fucking star. Starks is a star. Hobbs is a fucking star. Hobbs has such a good look. He's going to be up there as a true monster. And Starks becomes top 5 babyface in that company, man. He could do it all.
Yeah,
he can absolutely do it all.
He's incredible.
Yeah.
I love Ricky Starks.
And he's one of those guys you can't keep heel for long because the crowd's going to like him too much.
Yeah, I've been, singing his praises for a very long time.
Yeah.
And very excited for the future for Ricky Starks. But boy, would I gasp when he got hit with that.
Oh, yeah, it was killer.
Ugh.
It was nuts.
So next match I have Sammy Guevara versus Dante Martin.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, man, this was pretty fucking good. If you want to showcase just dudes being athletic,
sure,
this was good.
I'll tell you my problem with this match. I have not warmed back up to Sammy yet. they killed him so much.
Yeah, well, he's a heel.
He killed him so much.
Yeah.
That, like, I'm like, okay. Yeah.
Nobody did anybody any favors in that whole group.
No. And I'm like, all right, yeah, this was cool. They did some cool stuff, but I'm like, I'm not engaged. I can't be engaged with Sammy right now.
I actually liked it. I thought it was pretty good.
Dante does his stuff and he looks really good.
Dante's gotten so much better, but I like that he's not just doing flippy shit. Mm-hmm. He's adding like some suplexes and slams into his shit now, which is good. But like, he shows a lot of fire and a lot of like emotion now, which is awesome.
I'm not ready to buy in on Sammy, so I'm just like, meh, whatever.
Yeah, and then you have Sky Blue in Dante's corner, and she stops the beatdown afterwards from Tay Conti.
Right.
Which then Anna J.A.S. comes running out with her weird power walk.
Right. And that red outfit, though.
Well, I mean. Well, yeah, that's right, because she's going to choke everyone out. She'll choke you out, she'll choke you out, she'll choke you out, she'll choke Adam Van out.
Yeah, it doesn't have to ask me twice.
Jesus. Yeah, they're beating up Sky Blue. Mm-hmm. Out comes Ortiz and Ruby Soho and Eddie. And Eddie just, again, roof blows off the place.
Right, of course.
This is where I think they're going to, right now, do Sammy versus Eddie.
I think they're going to do Sammy versus Eddie for the next week or two. So the pay-per-view's a few weeks away.
Pay-per-view is still more than a month away.
Right. So I think what you do is you do Eddie Sammy here, right? Maybe Eddie and Ruby versus Sammy and Tay. You do that because I still think and this is my hope too, but I still think they're going to circle back because and I want to be surprised by all of it, but I think you can't you want to do one last blow off between Eddie and Jericho. I think Eddie has to get his win back. But I don't think you can spread that out with Eddie and Jericho just talking back and forth for the next 5-6 weeks.
No.
So you go to Sammy. You do this because Sammy and Tay are involved with Ruby. You can get a couple weeks out of that. And then in 2 weeks, Jericho has his match with Mox.
You have Eddie cost Jericho.
You can have it. You can. So here's the thing. Jericho ain't going to lose clean to Mox. He's just, he's not going to win. There's no chance he wins, but he's going to position and politic himself to not lose clean. And do you do like Jericho leaves, or do you have Eddie cost him the match?
Eddie cost him the match,
right.
Yeah.
So you do that because then that can circle back to, you can also include Claudio or Danielson in that to set up, helps reignite the next thing for Eddie, right? But the next 2 weeks, he's fighting Sammy. And he beats the shit out of Sammy. He loses control on Sammy. Yeah. And that's when because Jericho very much is like, I don't need to wrestle you again. I just beat you. Yeah. What's the point? Well, if Eddie takes Sammy and pounds the fuck out of him, which only gets him more over with the crowd, and Sammy sells it really good, Jericho could be like, that's my boy, that's my protege. You don't get to treat him that way.
Yeah.
I'm going to beat your ass for it. And that brings it back without having just Eddie and Jericho jaw jack. I wish it was over because I want Eddie to move on to other things. But if it means we get Eddie getting his win back against Jericho,
that's the ultimate end goal here. I worry.
If that doesn't happen, it's a bit of a waste, and you've hurt Eddie more than you think you have. But he'll be fine.
He'll be fine, but man, it's just you're not giving.
But Sammy can't beat Eddie. Yeah. The crowd will revolt. Oh, yeah, so I think that's what they're going to do. I think you get 2 to 3 weeks out of Sammy with Eddie, and Eddie beats the piss out of him. Like maybe even like to a point where he gets DQ'd, like he loses it and goes after him, and then Jericho has to intervene, and then you get that. Or you can even do Eddie has to beat all of, Eddie has to, he has to wrestle. I'm not going to wrestle you, but you have to wrestle the Appreciation Society and, put him in a match against the fucking 2.0, even do a handicap match where Eddie beats the fuck out of both of them. Yeah, I think that's where they're going. I hope that's where they're going. Eddie will be fine either way, but he needs a win. It has to be.
Goddamn I Quit match.
It has to be.
Just fucking let's make it happen.
Right.
Now you have the return of Jungle Boy, his first promo back.
Right. We hear Sanjay Dutt's gonna work on Rampage. Good for you. The original player from the Himalaya.
Jungle Boy with the line of the night, Christian Cage, you're the biggest pussy I've ever met in my entire life.
Right.
Crowd goes ballistic when he said that. Came out with Luchasaurus, talked about, Luchasaurus, like, you thought you're going to get my best friend. Like, we're actual best friends.
Yeah.
You ain't getting them.
I don't want to say issue with this. I think Jungle Boy did a really nice job with this.
He had to show fire.
Right.
Had to.
But like you're a pussy, you have a small dick is like lame. It's easy.
I get they're just taking it to the okay, Christian crossed the line. Right. Now I'm going to cross the line with your divorce and stuff.
But the emotion that he put out in this and that really made it work.
Yeah.
I think it was really good, and I like sort of maybe not so much Boy Lost in the Jungle anymore, but like
Jungle Jack.
Right,
Perry's
I'm Jack
here,
Perry.
Yeah.
I'm whatever.
Yeah, they're saying Jungle Boy talking to you. This is Jack
Perry. But yeah, I mean, I thought this was really good.
Yeah, I thought so too.
The weirdest part about this is that Christian cuts in from backstage, and like it seemed like Jungle Boy couldn't hear him. Like there was some sort of There was a couple instances on this night that were some weird missed times and stuff. But yeah, Jungle Boy, this was really good.
Yeah.
I wish it went on longer. I wish he didn't immediately get Luchasaurus back. But whatever.
Yeah.
It would have been a more interesting story leading up to because you also have to get this to go. They can't touch until the pay-per-view, right?
No, they can't.
So like
this has to be a pay-per-view match.
If it took Jungle Boy a few weeks to get Luchasaurus back on his side, that stretches it out a little bit.
Just make it a no DQ at the pay-per-view.
Right.
That's all.
Yeah.
Make it a goddamn bunkhouse match, whatever. Right. Now you have the Young Bucks Hangman Page interaction.
Mm-hmm.
They're teasing that now on television. So who knows where that goes?
My instinct is that they turn them back to Hangman because the Bucks haven't been on TV. They're not super involved with anything really right now.
Later than that, Undisputed Elite's back next week.
So I think you turn the Bucks back.
So okay, so do you
turn the Bucks back to Hangman just to turn them back when Kenny comes back?
See though, or do you do now that the trios titles are coming? Do you have Cole Fish and O'Reilly beat down the Bucks?
It's possible.
And Hangman makes the save.
It's possible. You have to split them up.
Those two in the finals.
You have to split them up because they're going to face each other. You're stupid if you don't have the Cole and Fish O'Reilly face Kenny in the Bucks. You're a fucking idiot.
Or Hangman in the Bucks.
Kenny's the better one, but either way.
I know Kenny's the better one, but where does Kenny's star shine brighter?
Yeah.
On his own or with them?
Well, and Kenny's going to be hard because, but here's the thing. We don't know what Kenny we're getting. Kenny has said a bunch that he's not going to be able to do what he used to do.
Yeah,
but Kenny coming back is going to be a baby face because everybody misses him so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll be interesting. We'll see. Yeah. But, yeah.
Now you have the Swerve handicap match against Nice and Markey.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a thing that happened.
Josh Woods. Okay.
Which Josh Woods does nothing for me. But as I said last night, if somebody can make Nice and Woods work, it's Markey.
Right.
That's for sure.
Agreed.
AEW Women's Title match.
Yeah, we got a House of Black promo before that with the watch showing Darby get beat up at the San Diego Comic-Con.
Did you see Brody King's new tattoo?
No.
He got a tattoo with a gravestone with flowers on top of it saying, "Here lies Darby Allin."
Oh yeah,
got a tattooed on.
Jesus Christ, huh?
That's all he needs is another tattoo, right?
Exactly.
Again, when you're good friends, you do shit like
that.
Next match, women's title: Thunder Rosa, Miyu Yamashita.
Yeah.
From Tokyo Joshi Pro.
Yes. The ace of Tokyo Joshi Pro.
Yes. I thought this was good.
I liked it.
I saw people kind of shitting on it.
Really?
They're like, "Oh, this was sloppy." Me, I'm like, "Oh, it kind of felt like an actual struggle
and
fight."
I think
not everything needs to be super crisp.
Right. I think Rosa works better in this style.
I agree. Yep, she works better.
I think she has a closer style and better chemistry with someone who's used to wrestling a Joshi style.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Rose is better at sort of, and I've said this in the past, I think she stutters a bit when you over choreograph some big spots and say, well, duck this, duck, kick, duck, punch, or whatever. I think when he just goes in there and it's some brawling and some calling in the ring and more of a Joshi hard-hitting style, I think Rosa shines a little more here.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you. That match was good, though.
Right, it was good. We knew Yamashita wasn't winning.
Yeah.
But I like this, and I think we should find some AEW talent that can do this kind of stuff against Rosa and elevate this a little bit because she's not going to have a much longer run with this belt. I think just the time. Not even saying quality of run, even though she was strung up in early and really given a bad hand. I just think I think it's time. I think the way they've been doing this, she's had it for long enough. They'll probably be looking to move it on eventually.
Yeah, you know what is a good a thing I noticed.
Like
too?
if she wins, if she retains at the next pay-per-view, I'm gonna be shocked.
See, I wouldn't be.
Especially if she's up against Britt.
Oh God, I hope not.
Yeah.
A lot of the Joshi that come over, they connect well with the crowds.
They do.
Yamashita was over. Karushida.
Right.
When Yuka Sakizaki's over.
Right.
You know, like, they connect.
Well, people liked Emi Sakura and Ryo Mizunami, too.
Yep.
They just, it's a different style. It's a little better.
Yeah. Main event time.
Yes.
Red Death, Daniel Garcia.
Indeed.
Going up against the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson.
Yes.
Danielson's return match, first match since Revolution, I believe was the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, okay, this is going to be like technical. And they beat the fuck out of each other.
They did.
Holy shit.
This is fucking hard hitting.
The one spot where Dragon has him mounted and he's yelling at Garcia to like slap him. When Garcia slaps him and Dragon just starts driving forearms into his face, I'm going,
yeah.
There he is. There's the American Dragon. There's Bryan Danielson.
Right.
There's the best fucking wrestler in the world.
Yeah.
Right there. There's my guy.
Yeah. My note says Bryan American Suzuki Danielson.
Yes.
Because that's who he's wrestling like.
Yeah, but you know what though? He's still doing all the moves. Suicide dives, you know. His clotheslines are fucking wicked.
Yeah.
Busaiku knee. Like, he does everything. He does all this shit.
He does.
How do you feel about them with like the concussion?
Hated it.
Did you?
Yep. I think you can tell the same story without it because we know that it's his return and he may not be okay. May not be 100. And like I'm fine with them, if Garcia hits him in the head and he takes a second, he's trying to shake it off or whatever. But they did like 2 spots in this match where he like collapses and Bryce has to check on him and make sure he's okay. I understand how serious concussions are, and this is a guy whose career was ended, right? We know what CTE does. Yeah. We know how many concussions Danielson has had. We know how serious they are. I would prefer you don't work as obvious of a concussion work. You can work that he gets hit and he's slower to recover, or work on commentary that he's not 100%. He's cleared, but he's not 100%, or whatever. Or have Garcia target the head like he was because he knows that's a weak point. Yeah. But to actually do stuff where he takes a step and like crumbles to the ground, like I'm like the end, like the pass out at the end, that makes sense. But the beginning stuff where he was like black, almost like trying to make it look like he was blacking out. I'm like, that don't work for me. I don't like that. Don't work concussions. It's too fucking serious, especially with a guy who literally he
just came back,
but who just came back and who also a few years ago was told he'd never fucking wrestle again, because of concussions. And I don't like it. The match is still awesome. The match was fucking great.
Fucking awesome.
And I think you could do everything you did in that match without those 2 spots of him like crumbling and like, give him space, back up. He's not well. I don't like that.
Yeah, I know that was like a polarizing thing online.
Yeah.
I saw kind of like people were kind of half like on your end, half on the other end. Like, who gives a fuck? Yeah, though, I mean, I thought the match was great.
Right.
The interference with Hager at the end makes sense.
Right.
Dragon ain't going to lose clean to Daniel Garcia. It shouldn't happen.
But the thing is
not
that
right now.
With the story you were telling, you don't need that. If you tell the story.
I like it, though, because it's sports entertainment.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
And it's Jericho on commentary saying, I'm the guy who took out Danielson.
Right.
And Hager took him out. We took him out,
Yeah.
So it's sports entertainment.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I did like him to pass out.
Yeah.
I
like the pass out.
Yeah. Daniel Garcia, man.
Dude, Garcia's great.
He's a fucking man.
Yeah, Garcia's amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And now you can say he has a win over Danielson.
Right.
Danielson's going to get his goddamn revenge.
He sure is.
And it's going to be sick when it happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can't wait for it.
It's interesting. And here's the other thing, too, with Eddie, why I think this is all going to matter, because they're all still entangled. So, like, Mox is still entangled. Dragon is now still entangled. Eddie's still going to be entangled. It'll be interesting. But, yeah, this match was awesome. And again, too, on the other side of me not liking the concussion stuff, Danielson, I love him. Like, Ring of Honor, Bryan Danielson, American Dragon was my favorite wrestler of that era. So when I know he comes back from a concussion that took way longer to recover from than we would hope, and then he wrestles a match that's this hard hitting, I'm like, oh, he's going to get another one here.
he goes for it.
Yeah, they really did. And Garcia is a fantastic fucking wrestler. You know what's really interesting? Because this rounds out the Dynamite, right? There's nothing else.
This was the end. Yeah.
So this is a really interesting thing that just popped into my brain about AEW as a whole, where this show, like I said, looked a little odd on paper, but ended up execution like fucking killing it. You know who I don't miss on AEW TV?
Cody Rhodes.
MJF.
Oh, well, yeah, he's like an afterthought.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the gamble you take, right? It worked or otherwise. And again, this is my opinion. People love MJF. I'm sure people miss him. Worked or otherwise, whatever Hammerstone says, it wasn't a work and it became a work. And whatever they're doing, if he comes back, whatever it is, he's going to get his contract out so he can go to whatever the fuck happens. The gamble you take with doing what he did, whether if he does it as a shoot where he's like, you'll miss me, or if it's a work and you say, well, they'll miss you, we'll take you off for a while. The gamble you take is that they don't miss you, and they're running that line right now.
Yeah, because you know what? 4 people got elevated last night.
Right. This was a here's our young people showcase.
Yep.
And on top of that, Rampage last week had that Moriarty bit.
Yeah, but 4 stars last, like Starks,
right,
Hobbs, Garcia,
right,
Jungle Boy,
right.
Like they all got elevated last night too,
and they all have
a new
and
level.
this was a hot crowd. They would have, they would have cheered at Pip farting on a snare drum. Wow. But like, it was a hot crowd, and they all get massive reactions. Yeah. And not that MJF wouldn't. People are going to freak out when and if he comes back.
Sure.
But you run that risk of the shows and new talent stepping into that place that you left.
Yeah.
And that creates a problem.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, last night's Dynamite was fucking
because there's always going to be somebody, and that goes back to their talk about Gresham too. There's always a talent behind you waiting for your spot. Right.
Sorry.
In the world we're in right now, there's somebody waiting for your spot. And if you don't want it, somebody's going to fucking take it.
Yeah.
And whatever that happens to be, there's plenty of people out there that are looking to fucking take it.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of people that are just as good or better at an aspect of wrestling or another that MJF may not be. And people will develop, people will get better, and somebody will take that spot, no fucking problem.
Yeah.
And this was awesome for that.
I look at it, kind of kicking back to me watching that Austin Rock thing.
Mm-hmm.
Austin was number 1.
Right.
But who was always nipping at the heels? Rocky.
Right.
Austin went away. Who became number 1? Rock.
Somebody's always going to take your spot.
Always there.
There's always someone there to take that spot.
Yeah.
There's indie talent that, if given the opportunity, will gladly jump into a spot. There's people that are signed to a low-level contract who will gladly take a spot.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, if Garcia doesn't want this spot, I'm not saying he doesn't, but if Garcia doesn't want this spot, there's Lee Moriarty can jump in and fill that spot. Look at what happened with Yuta, right? Mox and Regal and all them wanted Garcia, right? And Jericho was like, no,
I
want him.
Yeah,
I completely get why, right? It brings legitimacy, and the kid's fucking amazing. Well, what happens? All right, well, Yuta gets the spot. Look at how Yuta's filling that fucking spot, insanely, right?
Yeah.
He gets that spot that wasn't supposed to be his. He goes to Japan. He's wrestling. Nobody can kick out of his finish.
No.
He's elevated. He's like, there's always going to be somebody trying to get that spot.
Oh, absolutely.
So don't give your shit up, man. Yeah. Don't do it. No matter how mad you are, you give something up, that could be your last chance or your only chance.
Yeah.
And this is what it is. People, the most talented people in the world, the world is unfair. Wrestling is unfair. The most talented people in the world may never get a shot that they fucking deserve. Cesaro was probably the best worker in the WWE for a decade.
Yeah.
He didn't get his fucking shot.
Never got his chance.
He didn't get a shot. He's, in my opinion, 20 times the fucking professional wrestler that Seth Rollins is.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins gets all the shots. Right? Look at Roman. Look how long it took Roman to become who he is now.
Yeah.
If he at any point said, you know what, I want to be pushed more, you're not pushing me, I'm going to walk away, somebody else would have filled that fucking spot.
Sure.
Right.
That's what happens.
It's what it is. It's what the fuck it is. Don't give up a spot. Look at what these young guys are doing. It's incredible.
You're not wrong, man.
And it's what AEW is meant to be. It's not what they are right now, and it's not what they need to be right now, but it's what they're meant to be. Because a guy like Garcia isn't necessarily getting a WWE shot in the big time, right? He's not. He
fucking offered him a contract and said, "Oh, if somebody wants to sign you, let us know. We'll sign you first."
Well, and what would happen? He would just be in NXT and whatever.
He would.
You know what I mean?
He would have been he would have been released by now.
Right. So like,
same with Yuta.
Don't give up your spot. Because you don't know what it's going to become. And when these guys, and what AEW needs to be the place where these young talents can come in and shine and get the crowd behind them. Like, Daniel Garcia just beat Bryan Danielson, one of the most revered and respected wrestlers. You can do anything you want with Garcia now, and it's believable.
Yeah.
Anything you want.
Yep.
You want him to wrestle Mox? People are thinking he's going to beat Mox. You want him to, you know what I mean? Like, you want him to wrestle anybody else?
Have him come out and fucking, if you were to beat Wardlow for the TNT title next week, I'd go, yeah, I believe it.
Right. They've elevated him in a way.
Legitimized him.
Right. They've elevated him in a way that anything is possible now. And he's a young fucking talent who's only a few years in the fucking business. Yeah. And they're doing it the right fucking way. It is super smart. They have these young guys that are going to be in that company that are getting the fans behind them now. Yeah. That it will be in 5 years, will be running that company then for the next 15.
You're 100%
it's fucking
right.
smart. It's what they need to be.
Yeah.
The Jerichos of the world aren't there to be the top of that company for the next 5 years.
No.
The Jerichos of the world,
get the next generation ready.
Right? The Jerichos of the world, and Jericho will tell you this too. As delusionally as he is, there's a reason why he's working with Garcia.
Sure.
One, because he's trying to gleam off any last chance at stardom that he can, but also because he's developing people. That's why Regal's there. Exactly. You know, that's why Brian just said, when I show up, and I bully people because I show up and everybody's on their fucking phones.
Yeah, and he said, if I walk in this fucking locker room and you're on your cell phones, I'm flipping out.
Right.
And like Regal said on his podcast, like, if you're at TV once a week and you're not trying to get better and you're on your phone, he's like, that's fucking disrespectful. Right.
And Regal's career ended probably earlier than he wanted it to.
Absolutely.
And Daniel Bryan's can end again at any moment. Yeah. Any other concussion he doesn't come back from, and his career's over. So what can he give to the wrestling industry while he's there? Yeah. And Jericho does this too. I like to give Jericho a hard time, but Jericho for the most part has no problem going out on his back for a lot of young guys. But like it's Danielson knows that he's not around in this business for another 10 years, probably not even another 5, honestly. So are you selfish and leave that void when you leave? Or do you make sure that there's somebody up there that can fill that spot so wrestling can continue to be better?
Like, look at since he started working with Jade, how much better Jade's got.
Absolutely.
Look at Yuta. I mean, Yuta's just fucking jumped off the screen now.
Yep.
Like, if there's one person in that company to listen to, it's fucking Bryan
And it's a huge difference between a guy like Chris Jericho or Bryan Danielson and someone like fucking Disco Inferno who spends his whole time on Twitter saying all the young guys suck and he should have had a better shot and listen to him, or fucking Brother Ray. Like, they're all these assholes that want to be the stars. They don't want to fill that. They don't want that spot filled when they're gone.
Yeah.
And it's nonsense. Get the fuck out of here. Bring up this young talent.
I agree.
Or you're stuck.
That's one of the things one of the things I said with like WWE. Right. Start focusing on your younger talent.
Right.
Because obviously they're starved for it.
Right.
Start focusing on
Right.
them.
Because if you don't bring up young talent, you're stuck with a 50-year-old Masahiro Chono carrying your fucking company into the doldrums of attendance. Yeah. It's just what it is.
I agree.
So,
as much as I love Masahiro Chono.
Right. It's true. Right.
So speaking of Masahiro Chono and attendance, let's go to New Japan.
That's what you call a transition.
So the G1.
Yes.
We're continuing on, brother.
Yes, lots of G1.
G1, night 4. You want to write down the timestamp?
Oh, shit. Yeah, hold on. This is a late-ass timestamp, too. This will be good. Joe can skip all this. 1 hour 47. All right.
Oh, boy. All right. So, night 4 of the G1.
Yes.
Again, I'm not watching every fucking match.
Nope.
Just ain't.
Well, I watched the 4 tournament matches here, but
I only watched 3 of them.
Okay.
I watched Zack Sabre Jr. versus Aaron Henare.
I watched this one.
This was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Henare this was only his second match.
Yep.
Also in his third match we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
He is definitely the guy jumping out at me from this G1.
Yes.
As I would like to see more.
I like this match a lot because Sabre Jr. takes beatings in this kind of match. He did this with Ishii too. When he wrestles guys who are stronger, bruisers kind of guys, and Hanari's a little more athletic, but like still they're positioning him as a bit of a hoss, sort of beating people down.
Hoss, yeah.
Sabre takes these beatings really well, and then ends up beating you anyway. It's where to me, it's where he works the best because of his style.
Yep.
It's how his style works.
How he catches him at the end, like with the Achilles.
You just couldn't defend the grapple.
Like
what it is.
He knew Hanare's weak spots as the Achilles.
Mm-hmm.
He hooks him in the crab.
Right.
Hanari has no choice
right.
but to tap.
Right. And like Sabre Jr. wrestles such a cool style that like anybody who comes into a match with him, and again, I've said he's like not my guy necessarily, but when he does matches like this, it really works for me, is because a lot like Ishii, where you're going to have to fight to beat him, Sabre can get you at any time.
Yeah,
so if at any point in a match you stop being completely aware of the grapple, he's caught you and you're done.
Yeah.
And they also treat it very real.
Oh, absolutely.
Like Sabre doesn't take a hold and hold it and then let it go because you haven't tapped yet. If he catches you, like he's going to tap you when he catches you. It's just what it is, and they do a really good job at that.
Yeah.
And Hanari, I'm telling you, like we talked about this last week, if they do this right, and they might not. They fucked up before.
Yes, they have.
This could be a dude.
It could be
just
a dude.
saying it. They got a guy here.
It could be a dude. Yeah, I love that about Sabre where you could drop him with one punch. Mm-hmm. No doubt.
Right.
Like, you could fucking put him down. But like you said,
you're going to overpower him almost every time.
But like you said, you better stay on top of
watch your ankles.
Yeah, you reach down with one arm, he's going to snatch it, you're done.
Exactly.
That happened in his first tournament match, and it was awesome.
Yeah, right.
Speaking of another tournament match, Shingo Takagi versus...
I only watched this because you told me it was good.
Yoshihashi. I thought this was fucking awesome.
I think this is Yoshihashi's probably best match.
Easily.
But like much like we've said before, he has no ring presence whatsoever.
No, but I've said to you, he's gotten better.
He has gotten better because he's hanging out with the right fucking people.
2 years, he's gotten better.
Right.
Am I saying he's good?
Right.
Absolutely
not. If you're tagging up with Ishii and Goto like he does, you have to get better. You don't have a choice.
You better get better.
Right. It's just what it is.
There was the one exchange of this match where Yoshihashi was chopping Shingo, and Shingo was forearming him back, and it was nuts.
Yeah.
Crowd was going nuts, man.
Right.
Shingo gets the win with a
roll up. You can't have Yoshihashi win. It just
you can't.
You can't.
But how about the roll up finish?
Hey, plus 3 stars.
So that's the most positive thing you'll say
it's
about
the most stars Yoshihashi
ever.
will ever get out of me. Absolutely.
Did you say you watched another match from this night?
I watched Okada Yano.
Okay. Oh yeah, I did watch it, but I didn't really take anything down.
Of course, Okada is going to win this.
Yeah.
This is Yano trying to be like violent Yano a little bit. And, you know, him and Okada are buddies, stablemates, whatever.
Chaos members. Going back to old Great Bash heel
right.
Yano.
Trying to be I like this like mostly violent Yano. I like when he loses, he like apologizes to Okada. But I'll tell you what, the one thing I wanted to talk about this just really quick is that of course Okada is going to win here. But if Yano'd him, I wouldn't be mad about it.
No. Yeah.
But it's really short, but yeah.
Yeah.
And then the main event. Yeah.
Switchblade Jay White versus Tomohiro Ishii.
Yes.
Is this your match of the tournament so far?
You know, I didn't really think about my rankings.
Okay. I don't have my rankings written down after these 4 nights.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll try and regroup for that next week.
Yeah,
but
we will.
I mean, it's close, man. So it's interesting because wrestling is such an interesting thing. Like when I think about it, I think about that Ishii Taichi match, which has been my number one, and I in my brain I'm like, no, that was better. But that's only better because I didn't expect anything out of Taichi.
Yeah.
Right? So like I'm like, oh man, that's my favorite match because I didn't expect Taichi to do anything in that match, and he wrestled like Quada the whole fucking time. Yep. So I'm like, oh, that match was really fucking good. But Ishii and White have amazing chemistry.
Like incredible.
Right.
Dude.
and it's completely on display here. I was hoping, again, I always hope that Ishii wins. Because then he'd also get the title shot here.
Sure.
And I will, if they ever, and I don't think they ever will, but if they ever decide to put that main belt on Ishii, I will cry.
Well, and they told a good story that
they did.
Jay White hasn't beat Ishii in the G1.
Right.
And he did here.
Right. He does. But you don't wrestle Ishii without paying a price.
Absolutely.
And what I was saying before when I was comparing him about other wrestlers, Big Tom makes you fucking work for it.
Yeah.
And you don't. These aren't easy. He does not let you have easy matches. He's not a big guy, but he carries himself and tells the crowd who he is, and he delivers on it. And that's what's important. And this match is awesome. He eats all of a fucking chair.
Dude, listen, all right, Jay White's heel work in this match was top notch.
Absolutely.
Him setting up Gato on the outside, like, hey, you're just sitting here with your chair and stuff.
Awesome.
And it was all a setup finally for Jay White to distract the referee and Gato to murder him with the chair.
And then go back to just laying with his feet up.
Like, unreal.
There's a sleeper counter, the sleeper suplex counter, and this is insane.
Yeah.
This match is awesome. They have great chemistry. I hate that they do Ishii dirty like this. He's 0-2 at this point in this tournament.
Yeah.
But he continues to have the best matches in the G1.
Yeah, he is Mr. G1.
Everybody who wrestles him has the best match of that night and or week. It's just what it is.
It is what it is, man.
Consistently, everybody looks better from wrestling Ishii because you look like you survived the war.
Yeah.
Like, if you survive Ishii, you can beat anybody because you have to kill him.
I'll never forget that tournament a couple years ago where he blew Kenny Omega's lip off his fucking face.
You for real have to kill him. So...
But I loved it. This match was awesome. This actually, it overtook Zack Sabre Jr. and Kenta.
I'll have to think about it, but it might be. I'll have to think about it.
So the next, night 5, we'll call it.
Yes.
I didn't watch the match, but El Phantasmo stealing the Tokyo Bunny Peter, I think her name is.
So
what's amazing.
Right.
I caught the post-match. That was it.
So, like, if you're not familiar with the New Japan World, you got a Chromecast, and, like, you can swipe, but you can't see where you're swiping, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I swiped, and, listen, Yujiro's got to go. No Yujiro in 2022.
Stay away.
And I'm not counting this as breaking the rules, but I skipped. When I skipped ahead, because you can kind of tell, how the shows are paced, right?
Absolutely.
I skipped ahead, and I was like, wait, did ELP steal the bunny lady?
Yep.
And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go back a little bit. I don't want to see this match, but I'm going to go back to see what happened after. And the bunny lady if you haven't seen the bunny lady, look, it is something special.
Roll Tide
It is something special. And I was like, he stole the bunny lady. This is awesome. Get her the hell out of Yujiro so I can see her and not him. Sad to report, she came out with Yujiro again last night. I didn't see the match, but I saw them together in a tag match or something, and I was like, well, that's a fucking bummer. She should just be with El Phantasmo now. But I thought that was really funny. Sup, bunny lady.
He did steal
Peter, whatever her name is.
So I watched 2 matches from this night.
2.
Okay. I watched Sonata Taichi.
Me too.
And I thought this was another one where Sonata is showing how much improved he is.
Right.
Same with Taichi.
Same with Kevin Kelly doing a Vince McMahon impression on commentary.
Sure
He's popping his pecs.
Dude, the peck popping shit was so funny in the really beginning.
Funny. Yeah.
But Sonata, man, I love the cold skull transition and the moonsault, which never works.
The backflip by Sonata out of the top rope chokeslam was fantastic.
Awesome.
Sonata, we're going to praise him forever.
Sonata
underrated
Hive.
fucking
Stand
dude.
up, baby.
The sequence after the skull end was fantastic.
Yeah.
The moonsault knees blocking the bridge, eye rake, Sonata wins. Amazing finishing
incredible
sequence.
I like that Sonata's working the eye injury too.
Yeah,
right. It's smart. You're supposed to work that shit over the tournament.
And it works because he's recently back from an orbital fracture.
Yeah.
It works in something like this because it is grueling, and that way you can get clean losses to people that normally wouldn't happen because you're injured. His eye hasn't recovered, his knee hasn't recovered, Ishii's arm is hurt, whatever. You get to carry that shit over, and it just makes the G1 so much more interesting and allows for some surprise wins that make sense.
Yeah. Good stories get told throughout this tournament.
Absolutely. And I want to say, I know we have a couple more to talk about. I am loving this G1.
Oh, me too.
Loving it.
It's been fucking
It's
awesome
been fantastic.
So far.
Yeah.
Because I'm watching what I want to watch, not just everything.
Exactly. Fucking Bad Luck Fale versus or Chaso, whatever the fuck they're doing. Oh my
god. Main event of this night, Tanahashi versus Naito.
Yeah, I should have wrote down what the other matches were because there were some stinkers on these cards. There's some stinkers that I would not ever fucking touch.
No thanks, sir.
I don't know how you, in good conscience, allow Bad Luck Fale in a wrestling ring right now.
I don't know.
He looks a mess.
I can't.
But anyway.
The main event, Tanahashi versus Naito.
Yes.
The loser of this is going to go 0-2 in the tournament.
Yep.
Which seems insane.
For these two guys, absolutely.
I thought, again, these dudes over-delivered.
Right. So, at the beginning of the first 5 minutes in this match, I was like, oh man, we're watching the end of Tana here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the knees look really bad here. And this is a grueling schedule. He's wrestling a match every week, maybe every 4 or 5 days in some cases. Like he's going to go on a streak where they're going to be, he's going to have a match Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday, like it's a tough fucking schedule. Yeah. Not everybody can do it. And the first 5 minutes or so, I'm watching this 5-7 minutes. I'm like, those knees look really bad. Like he's going to struggle through this because he doesn't have that normal recovery time. Yeah. And Japanese wrestling runs more shows than American wrestling typically anyway. Yeah. But like he's going to really struggle because he's not going to have that recovery time to ice his body down in the 2-3 days recovery that he normally could get, sometimes a week or more, to let everything, the swelling go down and all that stuff to happen. Then at about the 10-minute mark, the adrenaline kicked in and we got Tana.
Tana turned it up.
And I was like, okay, no, he just needs that. Like he should be doing like burpees backstage before he comes out to wrestle to get himself warmed up before it's in the ring. It was just he wasn't completely warmed up yet. Yeah. The knees started going. He hits an amazing Aces High 20 minutes in.
Crazy, dude.
Listen, they told Muda to stop doing the moonsault because it hurts his fucking hips and everything. He's got to stop. I think that's going to be the death of him.
Yeah,
but it looks awesome when he does it. And then plus 3 stars for what is conceivably a 7-star match then.
7 stars?
The inside cradle for the finish here. Yeah. Naito goes 0-2 so far in the G1. Which is a crazy story if they're spinning out into something and they're not just burying that poor bastard. Man. I thought this match was great and an awesome finish.
I did too. I thought it was fucking awesome.
Right.
Night 6. I only watched a match. And it was the main event.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's one night after this, right?
Yes.
So I woke up, I couldn't sleep. For some reason that day. I went to bed late like I always do, and I woke up early, and I don't know why, but I woke up and I was like, I'm fucking up. I was restless. My legs were restless. I couldn't get back to sleep. And Michelle got up, and I was like, all right, I'm going to go try and go back to bed.
Yeah.
And I laid in bed, and I was like, oh, the G1's on, because it was a late start to the G1 that day.
Yeah.
So I turned it on my phone, laying in bed, just watched it all on my phone. I ended up watching the last 3 matches live, which I never really get to do.
Yeah.
So I watched 3 here. I watched Kenta Evil. The main event was Finlay versus Rock Hard, yes. Right? Okay. So that's the only one you watched.
Only one I watched.
So Kenta versus Evil. Lots of silliness in this match.
I don't like Evil.
I know you don't.
I really like. I just fucking
so don't. they took this in a silly route for part of it. So there's a cool spot in it where Dick Togo, Dickomania, is out with Evil, like always. And Evil is going to do the old ab stretch near the ropes and then reach out and Togo, like where the ref can't see, and Togo is going to grab, right? Yep. So Togo is turned like jaw-jack into the crowd with his arm up behind him, like, we're going to get him, right? And Kenta reverses the ab stretch, puts an ab stretch on Evil, and then grabs Togo's hand. And Togo's like wrenching it down because he thinks it's Evil because that's what the spot was supposed to be. Yeah. And then he turns around and sees it's Kenta and he flips out, whatever.
Sure.
I like that. Kevin Kelly, there's a point where Kenta hits a low blow and Kevin Kelly says Kenta with, it's not a low blow. When he's doing the ab stretch and he's hand in hand with Dick Togo, Kevin Kelly says Kenta's got a handful of dick right now, which was hilarious. So then they do...
Kevin Kelly continuing to kill it.
Right, so then... Kenta goes under the ring to grab a weapon, and he grabs the crutch that he's been using for months and weeks and whatever. And he gets in the ring, and the ref's distracted, and he's going to hit him with the crutch. And the ref starts to revive, and Kenta throws the crutch to Evil and falls down and does the Eddie Guerrero spot.
Okay.
And then they did... I think this match hides Evil's weaknesses a lot by doing this kind of goofy shit. You don't have to let him wrestle too much. They do the lights go out,
but
whatever.
Every fucking match is that.
Right.
With Evil. So
right. Because he has a weakness.
The House of Torture
but so there
sucks.
Is it's a count out finish. Kenta loses
good.
Because Dick Togo, when the lights go out, goes under the ring. And when Kenta goes to get back into the ring, Togo grabs his feet and won't let him in. And then it's a count out finish. I liked it. I don't love Evil, but I think this hid Evil's weaknesses.
That's the problem, though. I'd rather watch Evil actually wrestle a fucking match other than this stupid hijink shit. I hate it.
Next up was Archer versus Lawler.
Yeah.
This is Lawler's first match in the G1. We said last week that everybody had a match. He hadn't. A couple people hadn't. I probably would have skipped this if I wasn't watching it live.
Yeah.
Kevin Kelly does reference Monty Brown because Archer and Monty Brown are apparently close.
Oh, absolutely they are.
This is the one thing I will say is this is hard hitting G1 Archer, and I like this Archer.
Absolutely.
He dresses a little bit like Shawn Michaels as an angel,
Yeah,
which is
like
weird.
The weird white jeans and shit. Yeah.
I think Filthy looks really good here, like he belongs, which is nice. The crowd likes him.
Good.
Nothing special, hard hitting basic match.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Archer wins. That's that.
Yeah.
Main event.
Yeah,
David Finlay versus Rock Hard Juice Robinson.
Yeah, I was anticipating this because this is their first match since Finlay since Rock Hard turned.
Right.
He didn't turn on Finlay, never turned on him.
But he did say he was quitting wrestling so he didn't have to team with David Finlay anymore.
That might be worse than turning on someone.
Right. I'm going to leave my profession because I hate teaming with this idiot. Yeah.
Dude, I thought this was great.
This was really good.
I love the work on the outside with Juice beating up Finn.
Mm-hmm.
And then Finlay finally getting his revenge and just whipping him in every goddamn
Juice starts apologizing to him because he's getting the shit kicked out of him.
And Finlay's showing fire that he's never shown before.
Yeah.
Which I was way into that.
Mm-hmm. It goes 25 minutes too.
Yeah. Tell you what, man, these two have good chemistry.
I like in the beginning when Juice beats up the ring announcer for not announcing him as U.S. champ.
Him dick.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And the crowd gets wildly behind Finlay here.
That's what I mean.
Huge.
Way into it, right?
And he wins. He gets there's a hell of the when he hits the shillelagh off the belt.
Dude, that sound was
incredible.
Great. Yeah.
Incredible. Yep. A lot better than I expected it to be. I like this match.
Me too, yeah.
And Finlay takes the U.S. belt.
I just like that they showed the fire.
Yeah,
Finlay showed fire.
Finlay to me is a nothing, sadly.
I agree.
I love his old man.
Absolutely.
But I don't see any of that in him at all.
I don't either.
But this was a really good match. This is better than I thought it would be.
It showed some actual passion, I guess.
Right.
And that's what I wanted.
Finlay takes the belt.
Yeah.
And then says, now you have to wrestle me, Ospreay.
Yeah.
Come and get it, because this is mine until you do. And that's interesting, too.
Yeah.
So
Ospreay's going to walk all over.
Ospreay's going to beat the fuck out of him. But I like that because Ospreay Juice still becomes a marquee match.
Yeah.
And Juice doesn't have to be the one to lose the Ospreay over the belt right away.
You got Finlay in this, too. So, I mean, hey, elevate people.
Right, elevate
that's
people.
the fucking point of this.
Absolutely. And Rock Hard is still awesome. I love him so much.
Yeah, I like him yelling at Red Shoes. He's like, count that motherfucker out!
Yeah, right. It's so funny.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, he cuts great promos. Yeah. Everything about him, absolutely.
So, night 7, this was Wednesday.
Yes.
So, I
Wednesday
only watched
morning.
2 matches.
Me too. Because there was drizzlings on this card other than 2 of them.
But the 2 I did watch.
Yeah.
I felt like you're going to love this night. So,
okay.
Hiroki Goto versus Aaron Henare.
Yeah.
Beefy boys,
let's
meaty men.
Here's all you continue to need to know.
A lot of meat bumping in this match.
If you don't know anything about Japanese pro wrestling, you don't know anything about New Japan, the one thing you should know is that the G&G one stands for Goto.
And look, he stopped using it this year, and he's 2-0.
2-0, baby.
I'm just saying, Goto.
And I'll tell you what, Hinari looked awesome in this. He looked fucking great. This is matched up against the guy who has won a G1, who has some crowd swell behind him, who is a very talented, again, probably most underrated guy in New Japan. Hell of a fucking wrestler. Hinari holds his own and looks good, but nobody's stopping Goto. He's 2-0.
2-0. Let's go, Goto.
Naito's 0-2.
What the
and Goto's 2-0.
What is happening here?
In 2022.
And Goto beat Naito.
Right.
What's happening?
Right. It's fantastic. I love this dude so much. This is my night.
As you like to say,
my time.
This is cuckoo bananas.
That's right. It's cuckoo bananas.
So, speaking of your night, main event.
Yes.
Tomohiro Ishii.
Yeah.
Versus Tama Tonga.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't sound pumped.
Oh, no, this match ruled.
Oh, okay, good. I was like, oh, no.
No, this match was awesome.
So, okay, I thought the match was really good.
Yeah.
I have one gripe with it.
Okay.
At one point, Tama Tonga hits all this shit and just decides, well, all I got left is the gun stun. And he goes for it 8 fucking times. The first reversal out of it, where Ishii catches him in the air and backdrops him.
Awesome.
I audibly yelled, holy shit.
Yeah, I thought that was great. Yep.
That was so cool.
Yeah, that's in my notes too. Yeah.
Tama Tonga needs to stop wrestling in that fucking top.
Right.
I liked when he unzipped it and I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
Well, and like
you're shredded, brother.
It just looks like a Roman Reigns vest or a Seth Rollins outfit that he used to wear post the Shield.
Lose that shit.
Get out of here. You're a good looking dude.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
you're shredded.
Right, you're shredded. Right.
But hey, Ishii, baby, we're on the board.
You were on the board. So I think the best story in all of wrestling right now is how goddamn hard it is to beat Ishii in a match.
Yeah.
Like, they tell it so well. Like, you can beat the fuck out of him, and at some point, you're going to hit him as hard as you can, and he's going to laugh at you because of it.
He ain't even going to laugh. He just stares at you.
Right, he just stares you the fuck down. So he no-sells corner chops. It's the fucking best thing in the world.
Dude, that's like one of my favorite spots.
Right, it's fantastic, and he takes everything, and he gets up, and he's just the embodiment of that miserable fucker. And, like, everything he does looks so good. He lets everybody look good. Listen, Tonga's a limited guy. He's fine.
It's probably his best singles match I've ever seen.
He's fine. Better as a tag team with his brother.
Sure.
But they're both limited. They've both reached their ceiling as a tag team. They're not going to be great singles wrestlers.
No, they're not.
But this was really good. You know, they can have good matches. Both of them can do good stuff. I don't know why Tonga Loa's not around, but I know he's at that Asylum show with his old man.
No, so
coming up.
He hurt his knee at Capital Collision.
Okay.
So at the end of the show, when he comes out to confront, I don't know, Hikuleo, he was limping.
Yeah.
So he hurt his knee. And they mentioned on commentary he hurt his knee that night.
Yeah, it's so hard to beat Ishii, and then what a vertical drop brainbuster at the end.
Woo.
Oh boy. The way you're supposed to hit that move, like, you know.
It was like kind of twisting.
Right.
Like,
when I think of that move, I think of Hashimoto doing it, where it's like, it's almost like a pile driver, but you're in the guy's armpit. Like, somehow you get horizontal while they stay vertical, and you both hit the mat at the same time. I don't know. I don't understand the physics behind it. This was done so well.
Yep.
Ishii's the dude. Again, this isn't Ishii's best match even in this tournament.
Sure.
But it's a really good match, and it's just that, like, Ishii to me is so captivating because he is so hard to beat.
Yeah, I like the story that they told too of, like, you know, Tama Tonga, Bullet Club turned on him, kicked him out. He's kind of like on the good side now with like Okada, getting a lot of cheers.
Right, he has Jado with him.
Yeah, but Ishii's the one who's like, oh, you're joining up with like these guys too? He's like, I don't respect you at all for this. Actually, I think you're more of a bitch for for kind of like get goody with these guys. Right. And the whole story is Ishii being like, no, you're not tough. You got to earn my fucking respect.
Right.
And that's hard to do, my friend.
It certainly is.
But yeah, G1, man, it's been a fucking blast.
Absolutely.
So far, we have some shows coming up this week. Mm-hmm. July 30th. Let's see. We have 4 matches that night.
Mm-hmm.
I may watch all of them.
Ooh.
Finley Shingo.
Okay.
Jonah Tom Lawler.
All right.
Sonata Great Okan.
I'll watch that one for sure.
And Tana Zack Sabre Jr.
Okay.
And then starting July 31st, we're going to 5 a night.
I saw that, yeah.
You have Archer Cobb.
That could be good.
Yoshihashi Rock Hard.
I love Rock Hard, but I don't know if I love him that much.
Switchblade Chase Owens.
That ain't happening.
Okada Fale.
That probably ain't happening.
Naito Evil.
Former stablemates.
I know.
This is going to be tough, though.
It's gonna be tough.
That's that whole night?
Yeah.
I'll have to watch something just because I don't want to skip a night. But
yeah, so they may have more announced right now, but I just don't have it up.
Right.
But yeah, that's going to finish out July.
Okay.
So,
nice.
Starting 31st, we're going
they're going to have to start moving quick because some people have only, like...
you're going from 4 to 5 matches a night.
Right.
Which that happens. Yeah, I think this is only going to be Jonah's second match.
Right. Jonah only has 1. Tom Lawler only has 1. Yeah. Great Okan's only had 1. Yoshihashi's only had 1.
Yeah.
So I do have the current standings here just really quick. I know we're running long, but A Block, Okada is up. Actually tied with Fale because Fale's 2-1 in points. Cobb has 2, Archer has 2, Yano has 2, Lawler has 0, Jonah has 0. B Block, Jay White undefeated, Tama Tonga has 2, Chase Owens has 2, Taichi has 2, Sonata has 2, Ishii has 2.
Yeah.
Okan has 0. C Block, Sabre Jr. and Goto are both undefeated. crazy. Evil has 2, Tana has 2, Hanare has 2, Naito has 0, Kenta has 0.
Ugh.
Kenta's also 0-2.
That's insane.
Wild. And then D block, Osprey's undefeated. Finlay has 2, Juice has 2, Phantasmo has 2, Shingo has 2, Yujiro has 2, and Yoshihashi has 0.
Oh.
So undefeated. So front runners right now, and it's almost besides Kenta and Naito, it's Okada, it's Jay White, it's Sabre Jr. and Goto, and it's Will Ospreay. The only other person that has 4 points but isn't undefeated, Fale, is 2-1.
Oh, is that 3 matches already?
He has.
Holy shit!
Super weird. Yeah, Fale. I have my little bracket here.
Yeah.
Where's he at? Fale has beaten Archer and Yano.
Wow.
He's lost to Cobb.
So real quick before I ask you your last question, Stardom announced some shit like an hour ago.
Okay.
They are officially doing the IWGP Women's Championship.
Really?
So New Japan and Stardom are creating the title for defenses not only in Japan, but also in the United States on New Japan Pro Wrestling events.
Well, that's cool.
The inaugural championship will be crowned at the New Japan Stardom Joint Show November 20th. So that's official. And they say the IWGP Women's Championship is for New Japan events. It's possible it could be defended on big Stardom events, though.
Yeah.
So, wow.
That's crazy.
So people are finally your calls for a New Japan Women's division.
Yeah.
Finally.
I mean, that's that's cool. That's big movements. That's interesting that it's in Stardom.
Yeah.
That's big.
That's wild.
That's big. We might
that's
have to
wild.
Once we get through this in the N1, we might have to start paying attention to Stardom a little bit.
Yeah.
Are they on a service?
They have their own Stardom World.
Do they?
Yeah, which I may just pay for because I cut some other shit out this week.
Oh.
Dude, I haven't turned on my Xbox in 8 months and I was still paying for Xbox Live. I was like, I don't need this anymore.
What do they charge for it?
I think it was like, Stardom World?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Probably like $9 a month,
okay,
10 a month or something.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because I cut that out and then I got rid of Netflix.
Oh.
Yeah. I literally only got Netflix back for Stranger Things.
That's probably Netflix has nothing else.
And I was like, I just don't need it right now.
That's and it's only going up in price.
Exactly, it's only going up, and like
just buy it.
I have to pay $20 a month to get actual like 4K streaming.
Right?
Fuck you.
Yeah, just buy it again when Stranger Things comes back.
Bullshit.
Yeah, it's the one that I have that we turn on the least. So
yeah. Real quick.
Yeah.
Did you buy anything?
Jesus Christ. Well, so we got it feels like forever ago, but the No Holds Barred San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. That was the day after.
Got it too, baby. What, dude? Soon to be named Network Synergy on that one.
Right, crushed that one. Listen,
killed it.
It's all about getting what you can and then feeding your friends, right? That's what matters.
Everybody got to eat. There's a plate at the table for everyone.
Absolutely.
All right?
So those are coming. The Macho Man I pre-ordered the day before.
Yeah, that was from last week. Yeah.
Junk Shop. That Friday night, I bought the Bloody Terry variant, not both.
Yep.
You harangued me for more money than I wanted, but that's what it is.
Well, I said to you, listen,
you
out.
Gave me the right advice.
And I was like, if you ever want that other one in the future,
I'm pretty sure the variant did sell out. It was after a day or two. So,
the normal ones,
it'll be there forever.
Fine,
right. And I don't know that I ever need it. It's not. If it was changed from red to any other color on the tights, I would have bought it. Yeah. But the fact that the only difference is a little splatter of blood on the face, I'm going to go the bloody variant because that's the forever promo and that's what it's supposed to be.
Agreed.
And that's that.
Yep.
I don't think I bought anything else that week until this morning.
Yes.
When I bought us our AEW tickets.
You're goddamn right.
AEW coming back to the Licorice Center.
Yes.
Ticketmaster. They moved it over to Ticketmaster, and it's nightmare. A fucking cluster. I hate Ticketmaster.
What a nightmare.
So, and because of that, I didn't get a shot. It was a mess. Didn't get a great shot at tickets like I did last time. And there's not a bad seat in the Liquor Center, but I always want something good, especially when I'm bringing friends. I want to do the best I can for everybody. But we got good seats.
Yeah. We're
going to be there again. Maybe we'll be on camera.
Can't wait.
But it's only a few rows back in the exact same seats we were in the first time. So it should be awesome.
Yeah.
We had so much fun last time. Joe Sposto's coming with us.
So we will have a special guest.
We're going to take him to Insomnia Cookies.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Are we going to do a cheesesteak tour again?
If Joe's down.
All right.
And then hopefully, fingers crossed, Joe gets to see a lady almost get into a fist fight with a public bus driver like we did while we were waiting in line. Because Philadelphia is going to Philadelphia. It's just what it's going to do.
I love you, Philadelphia, with all my heart.
Right. Exactly.
So was that it?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I got the No Holds Barred 2-pack. Shout out to our boys over Final Wrestling Place. Again, played at the table for all of us, baby. We all got to eat.
Absolutely.
Same AEW Philly ticket. And then Van Housen himself, the Manhattan Van, from At Odds with Wrestling in our group chat, which I love. We have a big group chat finally for figures.
Yeah.
Shout out Fig Daddy.
Yeah, I was like, thank God Fig Daddy Cool's there.
He was at Dixon City Target today, and he's like, hey, look at these 2 Chase Lugers. Mm-hmm. I said, fucking buy me one.
Absolutely.
Because mine, the release date was supposed to be today. I don't have a shipping notice yet from Target. Bummer. So I'll wait. Now I have the Chase. I just need the standard. Right. Because I need like 1990 like weird NWA Luger. Yeah. Which is the Chase, and then the normal one's a Wolfpack Luger. Mm-hmm. So I need both. And then somebody said, or I was listening to Majors this week, and they're like, oh, well, you could get the Chase Luger, but just switch out.
Put the white boots on them.
Yeah, and they said because one head has the ponytail, and then you have like Babyface Luger in WCW. Yep. I was like, son of a bitch.
Yeah. Yep, black tights, white boots, ponytail.
Yeah, I ain't gonna do that though.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I bought this week.
All right.
So that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
All right, let's get the hell out of here.
Let's do it.
We've wasted enough of people's time.
Fuck that.
Thanks for listening, everybody. You can find us online at WeNeedWrestling.com, at We Need Wrestling on Twitter and Instagram. You can email the show at WeNeedWrestling@gmail.com. We're a proud member of the soon-to-be-named network at STBN Network on Twitter, soon-to-be-named-network.com, soon-to-be-named-network.tumblr.com, Final Wrestling Place, At Odds with Wrestling, Longbox Heroes, Hit My Music, Profane Argument, I don't know, Wings on Wings, our other show, which we'll be recording.
Did you say Final Wrestling Place?
If I did say Final, okay. I said it first. And a whole bunch of other stuff.
Longbox Heroes After Dark.
Longbox Heroes After Dark.
That's appointment listening for me.
It is. Love it. Shout out to Fig Daddy Cool again. For doing the job nobody wants to.
Daddy Cool.
What a dick. But yeah, so reach out to us if you need G1 recommendations, you want to talk about wrestling, you want to whatever. We're around. We're more than happy to talk about it. We had Dave Howard reach out to us looking to watch that RVD Noah match, and we hooked him up.
Yeah.
So,
dude, listen, I love all my G1 talk.
Yeah,
it's been fun on Twitter lately.
Yeah, for sure. So, but yeah, so that's everything there. And we'll be back next week with more G1 and whatever else we can muster. Enjoy starts, I think, next week with the tag tournament. Okay. So that's an hour a week. I'll catch in on that one for the Enjoy Cup Tag Team Edition. Yeah.
I'll see if there's anything cool on SummerSlam on Saturday.
Yeah, I might tune in and see what goes on SummerSlam. Who knows? And then I don't know. Shout out if you're watching Ric Flair die in the ring on Sunday, which we didn't talk about at all.
No, let's just leave.
We'll talk about it after.
Yeah,
we'll give him a eulogy next week. They just plug a pacemaker back in. Don't worry about it. Yeah, that's it.
All right, good, because I'm about to piss my pants.
All right, goodbye.
Peace.
You're listening to the soon-to-be-named network, the Lamborghini of podcast networks.
Knock it off, nerds!